Hey, welcome to the motherfucking Patreon. I'm all warm the fuck up, dude. That was if you made it through the YouTube, more power to you. Welcome to my just welcome to my brain, dude. This has been kind of nice, man. This actually isn't as bad as I thought. I mean, it's not bad for me. It could be a total nightmare listening to, but this is actually kind of fun because I've recently I like the idea of having a therapist. I know a lot of people, especially men, are very like, it's gay, it's stupid, there are trappings to it. I do agree. Like there are definitely, you can fall into the world of trying to connect all these dots. Like, well, I get mad at my wife because when I was 4, my mom, and it's like, dude, and I think it also is good to like explore all of that stuff. You know, especially the one thing I will say. Sorry, my back's itching. The one thing I will say is like, if you do read about one thing in like therapy land, psychology land, the studies around trauma and attachment are the biggest ones. When you think about trauma, it's like it rhymes with drama. So you don't want to be like, you don't want to like talk about it because you sound like a drama queen, or like you're trying to be like, you know, like my life was so fucked up. It's not like that at all. It's just like every person encounters stress, and some people when they're little encounter more stress than others. And if you encounter too much stress for yourself when you're a little kid, it kind of like warps slightly the way your mind works. That's all. And then that has an effect on you the rest of your life, specifically around like attachment, what they call is like attachment trauma. Like if somebody comes into your house and like shoots, well, your brother, that would be really bad. But like if you witness like somebody getting a stranger getting murdered on the street, that would be a traumatic event. You'd be, you know, deeply stressed as a 5-year-old. It'd be a lot to take in. It would have some repercussions. But if like your dad murders your mom, that's a different level because those are your like attachment figures, and like the way you attach to your parents kind of sets the tone for the way you attach to everybody else in your rest of your life. And it's kind of beneficial to know about that stuff because it's kind of illuminating for your relationships. You don't have to turn it into like a, you know, like a self-focused eternal pity party. You can just go, okay, cool, I didn't know that. Now I know this. But that's the thing. They don't talk about that a lot. Like everyone talks about the drive for, you know, the drive for sex. Everyone agrees we have a drive for sex. We have a drive for food, obviously. We have a drive towards power, you know, to some capacity. But nobody talks about, we also have a drive for attachment. Like if we don't, like as soon as we come out of, we have an instinctual drive as soon as we come out of the womb to like find our mom. And like, you know, that's like, we know where the food is. Baby turtles know to get to the ocean. They just, nobody teaches them. It's just instinct. They've just somehow have evolved to come out of an egg knowing what the ocean is and that they need to get into it. Whereas we come out and we're like, I'm not trying to be crude. We need to get to our mommy's titties, dude. We got to go. I'm totally respectful. We get out of here and all we can think about are our mom's tits. It's pre-thought. We know. We come out of this knowing we got to get onto our mama's titties. And it's like, you know, the tit is at least a physical representation. That's like, as a baby, that's an easy problem to solve, unless your mom's being stingy with those titties, which, you know, a lot of women getting stingy with the titties too, by the way. There's this big movement in like breastfeeding, and I'm not non-breastfeed shaming anybody. I get it. It's a hard thing to do. I think my mom struggled with it as well. I'm not non-breastfeed shaming them. But then there's this whole movement of where they're like, oh, who cares? You don't have to do it. It's like, well, you should at least fucking try. Jesus Christ, don't. But it's the problem is it's like, for women, I'm not going to go off on the babes. I hope I didn't go off on the babes. I was just trying to shed some light on some stuff that I've been thinking about. But it's like, I didn't realize what a giant insecurity it was for women to not be able to breastfeed. So they've built a lot of stuff into it to be like, and I really wish women would stop calling each other mama all the time. Okay, mama. Yes, mama. Oh, it's mama's time. So shut the fuck up, all of you. But also, I love you and respect you all. Stop calling each other fucking mamas, dude. It's okay, mama. But yeah, women are spazzing about not being able to breastfeed. But my whole point, whatever, I don't care about that. My whole point is that when you come out as a kid, your ocean, you know, let's say with the sea turtle analogy, is your mama's titties. So you have to get to one, and you got to attach to that titty, and your mom's supposed, you know, kind of the way she like rubs you and kind of like welcomes you into that, like, you know, your home basically. That has residual effects on the way you kind of attach, you know, if your mom's kind of rocking you and you're taking a little meth in through her tit and she like drops you on the couch to fucking like blow a guy because that's how you pay the rent. That's going to have profound effects on the way you relate to other people, because it's like You don't even know what anything is. You just know you have this safe haven, and like the environment, that safe haven that you're in within that is just, it does. It has a absolute profound effect. And then after, we get off the titty, we still have the drive to attach to other human beings and connect with them. And, and that's just something people don't think about, but whatever. I don't know why I was talking about that. Welcome to the motherfucking Patreon. What I wanted to talk about was Terrence Howard, the Terrence Howard interview. It was good. Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it.
It was good. I liked it. I didn't see the whole thing. I didn't understand, honestly, almost any of it. I really didn't. But I don't know what bubbles are. He was talking about. First of all, I support him wholeheartedly. I pray to God that he's right, because that would be the sickest thing ever if he came out. I mean, if Terrence Howard revolutionizes modern physics, I think it might let Jesse Smollett off the hook. That's all I'm saying. If he can come around and debunk I believe gravity's the thing he's trying to debunk, which I think he convinced me. He's like, gravity's just electricity. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, I'm fully on board. I'm going to start just like, anything I design personally, I'm going to use Howardian. I think they'd be called Howardian physics or whoever. There's a guy, he sweats. I forget the dude's name. Did you see the video he was showing everybody?
Mm-mm.
There's this like physicist that like apparently Einstein on his deathbed was like, Russell, mate, Walter Russell. He's like, I wish I read more of this guy's shit. Because his theory is that the stars basically produce planets. Like a sun over billions of years just kind of like shits out a little ball that kind of cooks next to it and then slowly moves. Like every planet's basically just moving out of a star. And that, that was like, I don't know, fucking is as good as any theory I've heard before. But the thing so my big takeaway was just that Terrence Howard continues to fucking rule. And, shout out Rogan for having him on, because a lot of people are just too uptight to like let a guy go off like that. A lot of people are just like, but like what will people think of my platform? It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. Let Terrence Howard talk about planets being birthed from stars and how the government's watching his cell phone. Nobody wants to hear Neil deGrasse Tyson recite textbook bullshit. And first of all, I just keep hearing bad shit about NGT, bro. NGT snubbed Terrence Howard, dude. It's like, I'm not surprised, man. Like, Terrence Howard came to him as like a mentor, like, yo, like, I'd like to like talk about, talk about planets with you, black man to black man. And fucking Neil deGrasse Tyson was just apparently kind of a dick to him. Was like, bro, lose my number. Which, getting to lose my number based on your theory about the planets is that's tough. That's tough. I felt kind of bad about that. I saw just a random aside. Speaking of powerful black men being treated poorly, I was outside before I came in here, and this might be pointless to talk about, but I saw a powerful black man. He was with five, I think it was 4 or 5 white women and maybe an Asian lady too. I wasn't sure. Sometimes if you're looking at a group of white women, like almost like an Asian lady, you can kind of like magic eye pop out of that, almost like a mirage. I don't know if there was an Asian lady there or not. My mind just put one there. But let's just say it was a powerful black man with 5 white women and a potential Asian lady or an Asian illusion. But they made it. I don't know how they were all related as a group. I didn't like investigate it at all. I just kind of watched, and 5 women made this guy, or like somehow I don't know. I didn't get the sense that he was like, yo, get a picture of me. They were like, no, do this, stand like that. And they made him stand by a window and reenact, like there was like a little balcony thing, and he had to do like a Romeo and Juliet kind of like, he recited whatever that line is, like, Juliet, what, I don't know, let down your hair, Rapunzel, I don't know what the fuck it is, but they had to do like a Shakespearean performance, like a very short one, while they all filmed him. And then they all went, yay! And I like just watched this guy do this, and I was like, brother, why are you doing this, man? Don't let these white bitches make you do this. He's a powerful black man. And they made him like do Romeo and Juliet. I don't know. I was trying to rack my brain for like, what is the circumstance that brings this about? Is he like marrying one of their friends? Is this some sort of like pre-wedding photo type thing? And like, and the fact that all of the women were like in sync enough to like clap at the end of it and convince them that it was like a good thing he did, I was kind of like, I'm not saying it was a bad thing. I was just like, I watched it and I went like, what the fuck's going on? It was destabilizing. So anyway, Back to Terrence Howard. I wish I understood the thing more. Towards the middle, he kind of gets into the idea of us all obviously being one part of one thing, like a cell, our universe being the cell of a giant, like just an impossibly larger organism that we can't even fathom. It's like, yes, yes, yes again. So I'm totally on board. I didn't get all of his stuff, but I will say I'm deeply jealous of kids who are in high school now, because I didn't have this shit when I was in high school. To be able to I would have loved to stunt on my physics professor. Just sit down and be like, wait, is this basic Newtonian physics? Like, yeah, okay, dude. Yeah, right. Is this based on the 5 Platonic solids? Never heard of those. I'm going to use that now. It's based on the 5 Platonic solids. Wait, hold on. Mr. Stevens, do you believe in straight lines, the Catholic propaganda of straight lines? Jesus Christ, bro. That's crazy. If you get a test on a ball, dude, that would be the ball's moving 45 miles per hour at like a 20-degree angle. I would go up. You know when you ask a question at a test? There's no more dangerous and daunting operation to like pick up your test, walk up to the teacher and be like, basically like, yo, can you give me the fucking answer for this question? Every time I ask a question, I'm like, can I just like get I don't understand. I don't know. My problem is I don't know the answer. I'd be like, I don't understand the wording of this. Was this from chapter 4? Yeah, you taught, and I just wait for like the answer giving hint. Sometimes the teachers are cool and they give it. Sometimes they're like, go sit back, no, number of questions. But I would have loved to walk up to the professor and just be like, so this ball's moving 45 miles per hour. Is the ball in superposition by chance? I would get so fucking quantum in high school. But, instead he didn't. I feel like I'm doing a bit. I'm sorry, but that's not it's not what I came here to do. But I will say this. I will say this is something that I started thinking about there was something that happened in the podcast that was kind of cool when Terrence Howard claimed that the government had been fucking with his phone. And Rogan being a good sport while also trying to like not totally betray reality at the sake of his guest, which is something I would struggle with badly. I'd be like, yeah, dude, for sure. Rogan does a good job at being like, yeah, that might not be the case, while also not being like a dick about it, but also, being like, well, let's keep this tethered for everybody. But then fucking all the computers started fucking up in the thing, which was kind of sick. He was in there and it would just be like, the phone was fucking up and, Rogan was being a good sport about it, kind of laughing, blah, blah, blah. But also being like, yeah, maybe you just drop your phone. And fair point. And then the computers never worked. They kept trying to pull up videos of these guys talking, and it just nothing would work. And then Terrence Howard got to be like, you see what the fuck I'm talking about? They're all just kind of laughing about it. But at one point during this like technological difficulty or tech difficulty breaks, Rogan talks about having a burner. He goes, dude, you should consider getting a burner so the government can't see it. And Howard's like, I can't because I had that before and my wife thought I was using it to cheat on her with. Which obviously he was using the burner just to talk about science with his boys, dude. Obviously he was using a burner to contact Neil deGrasse Tyson about fucking supernovas exploding. But then he comes out, Terrence Howard came out and he goes, by the way, talking about cheating while they're figuring out how to pull up like some fucking physics professor talking about planets being shit out of suns. He was like, it's only natural for men to have as many sexual partners as possible. And I was like, okay. I'm like, you've got my attention. And I've actually thought about this before, and I've heard this before, but he was saying like the level of eggs women produce versus in a lifetime versus sperm cells. And it's not even close. Women produce, I don't know what it is. Say it's 100,000 eggs their whole life. It could be more, it could be less. I don't remember. Terrence Howard was saying a man produces that many sperm cells every time his heart beats. Something to that effect. Like, it's not even close, and that we're only 3% removed from chimpanzees genetically, and chimpanzees have harems. Well, I don't think all chimpanzees have harems, by the way. I think like 2 do, and the rest of the dudes like rip each other's faces off and jerk off, which, all right, fair enough. That's actually, I can see that. But and I used to always say that. I would say that to my wife all the time. I'm like, dude, you don't understand. Like, you have like 4 eggs you're complaining about. I got to handle like 60 bazillion sperm cells. So like, I don't want to hear about ovulation. I want to hear about your fucking period. Like, I'm dealing with shit myself. But then it's kind of funny. As I thought about it, I was like, damn, what a fucking kind of bratty thing to say of like, compared to like be like, oh yeah, your vagina bleeds and you have to have the pains of childbirth. Oh yeah. Well, my body is designed to have powerful orgasms easily multiple times a day, and you should be sucking my dick right now. Like, it's crazy. I thought about it. I said, all right, Howard. All right. I am. It was like fair point because I really hammer I'm gentle about it now, obviously, but I'll be like, you don't understand what it's like having to come all the time. And it's like, they're like, now I'm kind of like, okay, I can get why they're like, oh yeah, really? Because I was like, how dare you not take this seriously? Like, I've for real, my whole life have been like, do girls not care about us coming? Like, they do. They want you to come, but like, just not that much. Like, they don't care about you coming all the time. Like, if you don't come while you have sex, girls will get like, you think guys are insecure about that? If you don't come while you're having sex, girls freak out. They're like, I mean, imagine. Now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm like, imagine the terror it would be to be a girl who can't make guys come. You'd hit the lost and found pretty quick, dude. If you for real were like, I've lost my ability to make guys come, that's terrifying. I mean, for a guy to not make girls come, you're like, I'm working on it. I want to do better next time. But it's not all going to fall apart. But if you're a girl who reliably can't make dudes come, it's tough stuff.
I think they get more mad that you make yourself come.
Say that again?
They're more mad that if you make yourself come. So if they're not the person making you come and you're going jacking off, that makes them more mad.
Oh yeah, because anything you can do, I can do better. What you're saying, if they try to get you off and you're like, hold on, babe, I got us, and then you just or you slink off and jerk off.
No, I'm saying at any point, if you're not having sex and then you like, you're jacking off and stuff, that's what makes them upset. It's like you're pleasuring yourself. You found a loophole.
You're cheating.
Not necessarily.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah. So they're mad. But my question is, are they mad that is this where they can't make you come, or like they're just not doing it and you're just taking care of biz?
I feel like a lot of them want you to only come with them.
Yes, that's true. I think it's totally true. They also, I'll add this to it. They want you to only come with them, and they both want you to be like dying for some reason.
Yes.
You have to have like 4 minutes left to live, and that's ideally they would just have sex with you once and then both die. I think if women had their druthers, that's what life would be like. So we covered Terrence Howard. I genuinely I wish I had listened to the whole thing. I didn't listen to the whole thing yet. I'm gonna finish it. And I wish Terrence Howard all the best, and I hope he's right. And I hope we find out we live in a universe of bubbles at like negative meeting points that meet up to form Saturn. Like, dude, yeah, for sure. Sign me up. My attention was captured pretty much all weekend. I did Indianapolis. I did 5 shows there. Indianapolis ruled. Here's my thing, dude. I was doing Indianapolis and I was competing ticket wise with the Pacers game 6, which was like, man, that was a fucking pain in the ass. Shout out to everyone who came out. Thank you so much. But also the very first night there, Thursday, I thought there was a Pacers game. It was fucking Caitlin Clark, dude. It was racist ass, bitch ass Caitlin. No, it was Caitlin Clark. And I was competing, and I wondered. I did all right versus the WNBA. I still moved tickets, but like, dude, people were pouring into that stadium. It was like, it made me good to know that I thought I was going to get wiped by the WNBA, and that would have been pretty disheartening. To if the hey Matt show's canceled, people prefer women's basketball to your comedy. I would have went, God damn, best of luck, Caitlin Clark. Ignore the haters, but God damn. But it went well. It went all right. I even sold well against. Well, to be fair to me and to the Indiana Pacers more so is that I sold my tickets before they knew there was going to be a game 6. So they let some people move their reservations, which totally fine. I get it. Everything worked out. But that's kind of scary going up against major organizations. Again, the WNBA I remained pretty optimistic about. Game 6 in Indiana. That I was kind of like fingers crossed, but everything worked out, and I think the Pacers won, so it's pretty sick for Indiana or Indianapolis. I don't truly give a fuck about it. But my point was, while in Indianapolis, I got sucked into a book. It's on Apple TV now as a show or a movie. I forget which one, called Dark Matter. Have you heard about this?
Mm-mm.
Dark Matter is it was actually recommended to me by Steve Gerben. Shout out Steve Gerben, and Christopher O'Connor recommended it to me, but also gave the shout out to Gerben, saying Gerben put me onto this book. And dude, I got completely sucked into it to the point where I was waiting to leave shows. I mean, obviously I had fun with the people in Indianapolis. Love you guys. But the whole time at the shows, I was deeply looking forward to not having to see anybody and running into my bed and turning the lights off and listening to the audiobook of Dark Matter alone in my bedroom naked, which it's a great book. And again, it is, I will say that's something I wish more people could experience, of having the jolt of adrenaline and kind of whatever other things your body produces when you do stand up for an hour for, on some nights, 270 people. On, I would say, more nights. Some nights, about 187, 190, not bragging. But it's like, you do a whole weekend, and then or you do a night of comedy, and then you go from, you're fucking there in front of 300 people, and I don't really think about it that much, but your body, it takes a lot out of you, man. I know. I obviously, having a regular job too, it's taxing. I've done it myself. That's taxing in a different way. This is more kind of exciting, and sometimes it can be absolutely terrifying and disorienting depending on how you're doing. But you just get this surge of adrenaline out of nowhere, and then you're just in your bedroom alone, dude. And it's you want it. Your body almost craves doing something kind of destructive. It's weird. I get it why dudes die in hotel rooms, because you get done it's either you want to I sometimes I just want to fucking I don't know, dude, just eat a fucking thing of pepper. I just want to do something bad. It's you want to I don't know, you just want to show your penis out the window. You want to do something awful, dude. Just eat. You want to eat something fucked up. You want to fucking call a hooker over to induce vomiting in you. You want to do something. You just want to I want to have a hooker give me Epicac and make her watch me be there's deeply unfinished. Your body's telling you in some ways you can't understand. There's unfinished business here, but I have to ignore all that, and I go, nope. I'm going to listen to the Dark Matter audiobook naked in the dark. So I won't spoil this book, but I would like to kind of at least give you a primer on it. And the book's cool because I'm sure you can probably watch the show too, because the book's definitely written in a way where it's just very clear cut. He doesn't do a lot of fancy wordplay at all. And I haven't really read a James Patterson novel. I don't think I have, but it strikes me of that same kind of whatever that's called, the prose or the styling, where it's just very clear cut sentences. Nothing's there for no reason. It's just here's the story, here's the characters, let's go. And it's the same way I think all of those James Patterson, Dean Koontz guys kind of are, where people snob them, where they're kind of well, it's drugstore literature, but you read it and you're this motherfucker really knows how to tell a story. That's how I forget who wrote the book, Dark Matter, but he did a fantastic job constructing a pretty compelling story. So the story itself, and it's going to be a little bit of spoiler, but not a lot. I'm not going to spoil the story, but I'm going to give you guys a primer. If you can see if you want to read the book or listen to it or whatever. The book's about a guy, I forget Jason's his name. This dude Jason, who's a physicist, and he's they paint him as he's the smartest guy in his college. Excuse me. He's the smartest guy in his college, and these burps, I'm not trying to be ridiculous. They're coming out that hard. Smartest guy in his college, and everyone thought he was going to be the next Einstein kind of guy. He's going to come up with the next big thing in physics. And he also has a classmate who's nipping at his heels. And what happens is he meets this girl at a party who becomes his wife, this hot Spanish lady who's an artist. And the girl gets pregnant, and they have a child right when they're at their careers are just about, which actually kind of ties into what we're talking about earlier. But it's right as they're about to both take off into kind of their own kind of personal careers and reach the heights of all this stuff, they have a kid. And when they have the kid's sick. The kid comes out premature, I think a pound and a half, real, seriously kind of fucked up. And, shout out to, if you have a kid that's a pound and a half, I didn't call it fucked up, but you know what I mean? It comes out and alarm bells are ringing. It's in the intensive neonatal intensive care unit, or not neonatal, NICU, whatever it's called. So it's in the intensive care unit, and then it's like it needs so much attention for like 2 straight years that the dude Jason kind of like leaves the laboratory he was studying quantum physics in, about how to put objects into superposition, and which just means having them in like one object in multiple physical spaces, whatever. So he leaves his lab, and his hot Spanish wife abandons her career as an artist for the most part. He becomes a teacher at some college, and she just gives art lessons. So the book starts with them in their kitchen, kind of being haters. Like he's like, "Oh, I heard your one friend got like an art award today," and they're drinking wine, just kind of like their kid's 14 now, and he's kind of like, "Yeah, fuck." He's like kind of being like, "Yeah, fuck that lady. You're better than her." And she's like, "Well, your old friend from college just got like, I forget the award. It's like some really prestigious science award." And he's kind of like, he's like, "Yeah, he actually invited me to come out to celebrate." And his wife's like, "You should go." He goes, "Nah, I don't care. I don't want to go." And she's like, "You should go." And he goes, "All right, I'll go over there and have a drink with this guy." So the story starts, it sets that up. And then the guy goes over to get a drink with his friend. And the dude's like, he's there. He's got all of his like research graduate students there. He's a single man. He's a bachelor. He's kind of like lightly, I don't know, maybe my mind invented this, but I think he's lightly bragging about like how once you get more funds, you get hotter graduate students, and like, you just be the fucking man. It was kind of a funny joke. But it's like this guy who's watching his friend live the life that he should have had in some level with like, career accolades, blah, 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 blah. And the dude in the story is getting kind of, he's like getting drunk, and he's like kind of being a downer on this guy a little bit. And the dude who's his friend, the guy kind of slams him, being like, "Yo, this should have been you, man. Like, what the fuck are you doing?" And he was like, "That's it, I'm leaving." He gets all, and the guy's friend's like, "Dude, don't be a fucking pussy." And he's like, "I'm not being a pussy. I promised my family I'd get ice cream and be back in 45 minutes. I gotta go." So the dude Jason leaves his friend. He was a total downer and being kind of a hater. He leaves that, and on the way, this is where the story picks up. On the way to go get ice cream and go home, he gets accosted by a shadowy figure in like a masked man who holds him at gunpoint into his own car and goes, "Drive now, or I'm going to shoot you in the back of the head." And so the guy has to drive to this warehouse where he, like, the shadowy figure is like really evil and threatening. It's like, "I'll kill you. You have to do this. You have no idea what's at stake." Blah, 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 blah. So he like gets him to this like warehouse, and they're in Chicago. So they're in this warehouse in the south side of Chicago, and he makes him get naked. And there was one part in the book where like, I get the author's trying to make it as realistic as possible, but he's naked walking in this warehouse, and he's like, "At that moment, I realized if he wanted to do things to me, I would have totally let him." That's when it's like, okay, dude, like we get that. You don't have to like go into the fact that like, it was just really weird because he's like, "I'm so naked. I'm so vulnerable. If he wanted to do things, I'm not pretending I would do it to get home to my family and bring them ice cream one last time. I'd fuck this guy." And it was like, right on, dude. All right, we get it. That's noble of you. And then so he gets like injected with these drugs and thrown into this like, he gets put into this like box, and everything gets hazy. And then he wakes up, and essentially what happens is he's in another dimension. And what happened was, and this is the spoiler, but it's the very beginning. So like the rest of the story unfolds. So this book's about like the multiverse, and the whole idea is like every time you make a decision, your life path branches off, and like the other thing you could have done happens, but in kind of another dimension. And him who kind of was like, when his wife was like, "I'm pregnant," that was like, "Yo, not my problem. I'm focused on the lab and the bag." The part of the version of him that could have done that went on to create this device to put human beings in superposition so that they could access different levels of reality or different dimensions within the multiverse of like the infinite possibilities that your life could be. You could like interact with every single potential life path or like potential world you could have been part of. And the version of him that like didn't stay with his wife and invented this like groundbreaking quantum device that lets people travel between different dimensions in the multiverse, the version of him left that reality, entered his, hijacked his life, sent him back to his reality, and then just started just blazing this dude's wife. So the story is about a guy who's getting cucked by himself interdimensionally, who has to escape this dude's world and then find his wife across infinite dimensions so he can stop himself from being cucked by himself. That's what the book is about. And it's a good book, dude. I'm telling you, it's worth listening to. It's one of those books, like almost like Click, where you watch Click and you're like, yeah, you know what? I should really cherish my reality. It's a lot of that stuff where you're reading it and you're like, oh man, this is actually kind of beautiful about like, you know, not taking stuff for granted and how he's like stuck in this other reality where it was everything he thought he wanted. And now, and a part of him, the part of him that wanted all that stuff even realized like, yo, I fucked up. I need to go bang this lady who this guy is having kids with and blah, blah, blah. So we do that. So that was kind of nice. That was a good book. But then I started thinking like, you know, I love the story. I think it's great. I would have written the exact same thing in terms of like the ethics of it and the moral at the end of the story. I just wonder if there was maybe something else the author could have explored, which is the guy, once he realizes he's in another dimension, with the same like dogged persistence of getting back to his family and kind of writing that whole situation. Maybe a story about a guy in different dimensions, like you with all of that kind of intensity and devotion, just trying to get strange. That would have been a kind of a sick story too. If he just like went from dimension to dimension and was like grabbing waitresses' asses. Like, I mean, that's obviously illegal. Don't do that. But you know what I mean? Like, I'm talking about a guy trying to get pussy as hard as he can, of like, even like, you know, like old ladies, like librarian, like everything, just going and just trying to get pussy. And even like, and you know, he's like getting chased back to, there's like a little box that they traveled through dimensions in. And like a lot of times they get chased by people. But it'd be funny if, like, if a guy just like tried to like kiss a cashier and just got like chased back by like a pizza shop owner, jumps in the box. Or the other, like the climax of that story could be, instead of him, you know, I'm not going to say what happens. But one potential ending would be coming back to your base reality, becoming a hot trap, and then seducing the guy who betrayed, the version of yourself that betrayed you from another dimension. And then you not only reveal that you're a trap to this person, but that you're actually the guy that he betrayed. And honestly, that wouldn't be, if that ever does happen to anyone else, where if you get tricked into having sex with yourself and sucking yourself, which I guess that wouldn't, the trick wouldn't be there, but if you sucked yourself. But if you sucked yourself, that's what I'm saying. So if the version that was betrayed, obviously you're hurt, so you're going to come back to try to suck yourself. That would be a self-suck. That wouldn't be gay. If you came from another dimension of the multiverse and sucked yourself, that's a self-suck. That's more impressive than gay. Guys, if a guy can suck his own dick and I found out that he successfully did it, I wouldn't call him gay. I'd say you should probably keep that to yourself. That a lot of people won't react pretty nicely to that. But also, I get it. I get if you're able to do that, which is kind of a humble brag too. But yeah, so I was wondering, that wouldn't have been a bad, maybe if the author's out there, if the author of that book is subscribed to our Patreon, or if someone has access to him, maybe pitch that idea to him about a guy going through other dimensions and being an absolute sexual pig, and then taking all he's learned to seduce and ultimately disillusion the perpetrator who's stolen your the interdimensional life thief. So yeah, sorry. That's that.
If he had been with her 14 years and then that guy wanted to go back in that life, that means that was the best piece of pussy he's ever had his entire life.
Bro.
And he had to get back to it.
Oh yeah. It's like he gets real into it. It's not, I mean, obviously, yeah, it's the best piece of pussy to him. And he's also like, he's like in another dimension, like, she is my home. And he's like, because then he meets other versions of her too. Don't get me wrong. He gets some pussy out in the other dimensions from his other wife, but from his wife, but different. He like meets the version of his wife that's like a successful artist, takes her down. Obviously, it's like kind of sick that he does that. But I don't want to spoil the book too much. But there's like a huge part of the book is him worrying that his wife likes fucking the other version of himself better. Because he comes back and he's, even with his son, I don't want to ruin it. But he's kind of like, was she better than me? And it's like, dude, that's you. But he was for real. He was like, because like the dude comes through and like the wife is like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Because this dude is like ravenously smashing his wife. Imagine after 14 years, if you just somehow wiped slate and it was like the first time you guys met, or a 14-year break. So he was getting like that ex-girlfriend pussy.
I'd be jealous of myself.
Yeah, I'd get back and try to fuck that guy up too. I'd be like, no.
Because I know what I'm capable of. So,
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And this dude had been, imagine, so all the 14 years you have kids, the bachelor version of yourself, who's obviously getting jacked like Peter Attia. He's coming back. He's like in shape, dude. He's like been tracking his VO2 max and just steps in as you, smashes while you're fucking lost in another dimension, being like that motherfucker. So, either way, that book was pretty sick. Where are we at time-wise, too? I want to keep an eye on time.
35.
Jesus Christ, I'm a fucking bag of wind, dude. Actually, speaking of which, this might make for a supreme. Hopefully, I feel like I'm exerting a level of confidence that I hope matches the quality of this content, because it could just be terrible. But I'm not going to think about that, dude. I'm in an absolute battle with myself in a good way, not like a bad, conflicted way, but it's like, how much of your negative self-talk do you truly need, dude? And it's like, I might hit a serious iron curtain of reality after this, where I'm like, okay, I can keep it up at a healthy level. But it's like, I feel like that is like one of my final battles. It's just like, do I need to keep psyching myself out? It's like, I can just, one of my new quests is just being as authentic as possible and letting my external reality just kind of be whatever it is around me, rather than trying to like live up to something that some externalized hype or like some internalized hype. Or I'm like, I have to be like, it's like, dude, I'm just going to try to be as true to myself as I can. And if it's like, if people hate that, okay, fine. I'd rather have people hate my true self than people love my false self, or still hate my false self, which sucks, dude. That would suck so bad to be a false self and everyone like, that fucking sucks. You're like, well, you don't know the new me or the true me. And they're like, oh, that's worse. And you're like, fuck, God damn it. But yes, that's been a thing, especially like, dude, like Shane's doing shows now for like, dude, we're in LA and he doesn't like to talk. He doesn't like to talk about this stuff, you know, because he feels like it's braggy. And I get it. I do get that impulse. Dude, he did a show for like 16,000 people, dude. And I went and opened it. I'm like, I'm comfortable in clubs, but I'm like, dude, it's you know, it's like putting a freshwater guppy into the ocean, dude. I'm like, what the fuck? I have to, and it's like, in that instance, I can only speak for myself, but it's like, the place is full. People are pumped to be there. The thing that is really like, you know, you can be like, oh, I got to tighten my act. What I struggle with is like, dude, the level of like, the demon of negative self-talk that emerges within you before you go on to do stand-up for 16,000 people. That's the greatest enemy, dude. I'm like really learning that. I'm like, oh, dude, I have to like not be for some reason telling myself I'm a giant piece of shit all the time. Like, I don't need that before I, you know, have to try to perform for 16,000 fucking people, which is a disorienting experience in itself. So that has been part of my quest of like trying to learn little tricks and hacks to navigate what I would deem as, I would say, hyper stressful, you know, performing doing a talk for 20 of your coworkers. It's like, it's the same thing, dude. Doing anything like that, you get like anything where you're kind of, you know, on the stage, so to speak, is terrifying. And also I think kind of necessary to kind of, you know, elevate yourself in some level, you know. And again, I'm not talking about money worship, which again, it's like, you do have to worship money a little bit or else you get kicked out of your house. But there is something to like, you know, finding the edges of your comfort zones and seeing if you can kind of poke your head a little further out of them. So I say all that to say this, obviously. I say all of this stuff I said to say this. I've been trying to find ways to calm my body down because it gets revved up pretty hard. Sometimes necessarily, other times, you know, not. And one of my other goals, obviously my main goal, I have multiple goals. One of them is obviously to leave behind just a breathtaking work of beauty in terms of the art world, whether that be a book or video or something, I don't know, or a Patreon solo podcast. But I've been trying to also inhabit my body and, you know, my mind, body. I've been trying to carve out some sort of little peaceful, almost oasis-like space within myself that at any time I'm not doing something, rather than like freaking out, like, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that. I can just like set the mode where I'm like, all right, agenda's complete for the day. Now I'm laying in bed. I don't need anything else. I don't need to take in any more information. I don't need any music. I can just lay here and just chill. Like, that's my quest, to just lay there silently and just be at peace. And it sounds so stupid and so simple, but it's like, dude, it's so fucking hard to just lay there. Like, first of all, I'm like a toddler. When it's bedtime, it's like, all right, I have to go to bed now. If I stay up too late, I'm going to be tired. There's a part of me that's just like, no, dude, stay up, dude. Watch something. Take more stuff in. And I have to be like, no, I have to rest. But anyway, so I've been trying to practice, like, and I get a lot of time at like airports and stuff to do this, where I've been trying to do a thing called a time battle, where it's not meditation. It sounds like, oh, that's what I do is I go, all right, my plane doesn't board for 20 minutes. I'm going to straight up take 20 minutes straight to the dome. No distractions. And I'm not necessarily even meditating. I'm just going to maybe I am on some level, but it's like, I'm going to see if I can just withstand nothing for 20 minutes. Just, I get to like watch what's going on around me, but that's it. I just watch, and I see how long I can take that and just like really get acquainted with that weird kind of like excruciating force that kind of grows inside yourself when you don't do anything. I'm trying to like just figure out what that is and how I can just kind of like arrange my mind and body in a way where, if there's not much going on, because that happens to me a lot, especially when you have kids. It's like, dude, I'm in dark rooms all the time, putting kids to sleep. I have to like, dude, watching them walk up the fucking steps, it makes me want to murder my whole family. I'm like, dude, get up the stairs. They'll fucking stop and like lay down. I'm like, dude, stop. Come on. And I get like really impatient and really nasty. And I'm like, all right, dude, I got to learn how to like occupy space time in a way where I'm not like something about to explode, basically. So I've been having these like, the time battles are tough. I have them. I obviously lose quickly. After like 6 minutes, I'm like, I can't. I tap out. I'm like, I got to look at my phone. I got to do something. I can't. My mind is just caving in on itself. But then on the flight home from Indianapolis, I was there with Nate Marshall. Shout out Nate. And I made a breakthrough in terms of trying to create an oasis within. And it's funny too, because I try a lot of meditation. I try all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. But I recently, and this might be the dumbest thing I've ever thought of, but I don't know. It kind of worked, where I was sitting there doing another time battle, obviously. And honestly, full disclosure, I'll be totally honest. I eventually did put on the Dark Matter audiobook while I continued doing this. So I was doing a time battle, gave up Dark Matter audiobook, but I'm like, you know what? I'm listening to an audiobook. That's fine. I'm not going to beat myself up that I tapped out of this time battle. But while I'm listening to this audiobook for as long as I can, because it was like a 2.5 hour flight, I was like, I'm going to not breathe meditatively or like, focus on your breath and let. No. I'm going to listen to the Dark Matter audiobook about this guy stopping himself and cucking himself. And I'm going to my only job right now is to breathe. That's all I'm worried about. And listen to the audiobook. I'm not trying to meditate. I'm not trying to not think. I'm just going to breathe in a kind of concentrated, purposeful way, which, is diaphragmatic breathing. And it's like, by the way, if you don't know what that is, you have to learn. That is it's free to do. You just put a hand on your stomach and you breathe in through your nose, and you make sure your belly expands before your chest does. And then you just, get a full belly on breath. And then after your belly fully expands, your lungs will maybe will expand a little bit. And you don't even have to breathe out. If you just let go of your diaphragm pushes back the air out of your lungs. Like, it helps you. You can breathe. You can help yourself breathe out, but like, it's just like when you let go of your stomach, it actually forces air out of your diaphragm or out of your lungs for you. So I did like the diaphragmatic breathing, just simple belly breaths while listening to the Dark Matter audiobook. Wasn't trying to meditate, had zero goal. I said, I'm just going to focus on breathing like this for as long as I can and see what happens. And I'm delighted to report that I think I really can enjoy breathing now. Just the simple practice of it. Not like, I'm not just saying that. I'm not one of those things where it's like, this sounds kind of cool. And it's not even like a meditative thing. It's like I was like hedonistically breathing and just kind of like, if you do that for like, I did it for like maybe 25, 30 minutes straight where I'm, again, I got the audiobook going, just enjoying myself. Doesn't even feel like I'm working. And when you breathe like that, you can, I'm like, I drank too much coffee that day. I'm in kind of just like in a mildly agitated state. And it's like, when you start breathing like that, your heart starts beating, your brain starts going like, this isn't working, dude. You're a fucking idiot. But I stuck to the fucking program. I said, dude, I'm going to keep doing this for 20 minutes because if you do diaphragmatic breathing for long enough, you can't fight this unless you're like really spinning out internally. Your body will calm down. Like your heart rate will drop. You'll feel relaxed. And like, dude, I got myself to a point where like, dude, I almost felt like I was buzzed. Like I'm telling you, man, if you're fucking bored, if you're on a plane, the social media is not hitting, YouTube algorithm sucks, the Wi-Fi's fucked up, put on some tunes. Obviously, you got to have some albums downloaded and just do that belly breathing. And that's, you have nothing else to do. Your responsibilities, anything you're trying to do is on pause for as long as, let's just say 30 minutes to an hour. And just make that breathing the point of your focus. Not even your focus. Your mind can wander on whatever you want to do. Just kind of like, keep checking in with yourself and like, yo, make sure we're doing this breathing thing. Dude, I felt fucking great. Like, it was actually kind of amazing, man. I had to I was with Nate and I had to turn to him and be like, dude, I'm like inducing like a trance state almost. Not trying to sound highfalutin. This isn't even like meditative. It's just, I'm just gulping in breaths like a big fucking freak. Just as much as I can. You can keep it kind of low key. And it was like, man, I felt fucking amazing. Did you ever do that before?
Yeah, the Wim Hoffman.
It's like the Wim Hof, but it's not as intensive. It's like, rather than holding your breath for a long time, you're just kind of just in the belly edge, but you're just kind of, it is, yeah, it's exactly like that actually. You're right. But it's not as intense. I'm not holding the breath, none of that. I mean, you could get into that too if you wanted to. You can do whatever you want. My whole point is, if all else fails, everybody's free to breathe in a way to kind of take a little bit of the edge off. That's my whole point. So try that out, dude. I did that, and that was absolutely, I'm telling you, fantastic. Let me check my agenda here to see if I have anything. Yeah, no, that was absolutely fantastic. And I actually had myself kind of worked up. It was a Sunday after the shows in Indianapolis, and so when I do stand up, I usually like to take naps during the day when I'm traveling, like when I'm just out of town, because I stay up way too late listening to science fiction audiobooks. Then I can't sleep, and I wake up, and I'm tired, but I'm like, I got to get up. I'm not going to lay around all day. And I really can't, because I'm like on an early internal alarm clock from having kids. So on Sunday, I woke up, celebratory breakfast. I'm with Nate, and I told him, I said, dude, I'm going to drink coffee till my fucking head spins, because I don't drink coffee during those days when I need to get a nap, because I won't be able to fall asleep. So then Sunday comes around. I go to there's this place in Indianapolis I really like. I forget the name of it, unfortunately, but it's really good. I've been there twice. And so I just fucking I drank coffee. I drank so much coffee so fast that, and again, I'm obviously sensitive to caffeine, but I walked into this place like, I feel good. The shows are done. I felt like weirdly well rested too. So I walk in. It's just like, dude, I felt like, I just felt like Jesus walking on water. I'm like, the shows are done. I feel well rested. I'm happy with the way everything went. It's Sunday. I'm going to walk around in this place and just try to be like, when you go into a busy restaurant in the morning and like the interactions you have with the people who work there aren't always the best. And, traditionally I'll kind of be like, this fucking bitch. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to let them do their thing. Wish the best for them. I'm not going to get spazzed, not going to get negative. I'm feeling pretty good right now. And I went, ooh. I said, let me get, the whole thing was I was trying to get a coffee and they were like so busy. They're looking, I was standing by a counter looking at me like, what the fuck do you want? And then finally the lady's like, oh, there's drip coffee over there. You can pour it yourself. And I go, oh my God, here we go. So I fucking like a crackhead crush 2 cups of coffee. I'm eating breakfast. I'm chatting my head off with Nate. We're having a good time. And then my wife calls me. And this is how high on caffeine I was. My wife calls me as our food's coming out. I don't remember now what she was talking about. And I don't remember, by the time I hung up, I was so worked up and spazzed that I don't even know what she was talking about. Like, as soon as I hung up to Nate, so the food comes out. We're on the phone just briefly. Like, we've been on the phone for 5 fucking seconds. The food starts to come out, and she was asking me about something, and I was like, my food's coming out. I can't talk about this right now. And she was like, what? And I was like, I can't talk right now. My food's coming out. And dude, I don't know this was just like almost like a bug-like reaction where I spazzed on my wife for having me on the phone while my food was coming out. I was like, I can't talk right now. They're bringing my food out. It's rude of me. I have to go. And then, and she was asking me something kind of important. I don't know what it was. It was some sort of plan for the week. I honestly don't remember, dude. I was that cracked out. And, you know, my food comes, I'm eating. I'm like, I was kind of alarmed because I was telling Nate, I'm like, oh, fuck, dude. I think I might have like entered into the argument space with my wife. And I truly think it was all my fault. I think I was actually absolutely a fucking dickhead in this instance. So then I'm like, you know, I'm eating and I was kind of like, to be fair, I was kind of laughing with him about it. Like, damn, dude, I think I just fucking fucked up. But I was like, I was so geeked on coffee. I truly, I should ask her after I'm done. I truly don't remember what we were talking about. But regardless, my point was, I was kind of spun out. Because whenever we're in a fight, you know, I'm always like, yeah, whatever, I don't care. Well, it honestly wasn't even a fight. It was just more so like she was kind of pissed at me. I knew she was kind of pissed at me. And I needed to be a good boy for a little bit. And also I had to apologize and be like, yo, my bad. I totally spurged. Like, I'm drinking too much coffee. And that's a thing too. She's been on my ass about that. Cause I get mean. If I drink too much coffee, dude, I get so fucking mean. I was talking about going into daddy mode, which again, and that was in the original one, which good God, I think I put my foot in my mouth like 45 fucking times in 2 seconds. But my point is, caffeine will send me into false daddy mode, which my wife doesn't like. If I inhabit true daddy mode, obviously she'll respect that. But like I'll be all jacked up on caffeine in the morning and just be like, I'll just spaz for no reason, and she'll be like, bro, you got to get off the Joe. You got to lower your caffeine intake. And I'm like, I will. So that's something we're going through right now because she's not entirely wrong. But my whole point, the whole reason I went into any of that stuff was that, like, that's how jittery and nervous I was. And I truly, I'm not just saying this, through the breathing, and it took a while, sustained breathing and just kind of like sticking to it and trusting in it as a process. I like for real had myself into a pretty calm state while fighting, like, you know, a pretty serious caffeine demon. So I was pretty pumped about that. So yeah, look, guys, this is the best I got. Hopefully you like it, but this is fun. I don't know. I'm having fun. I hope you're having fun too. But I will say, speaking of spurging, I told you I was on Theo Vaughn's podcast. It was fucking sick. I really enjoyed it. The last 10 minutes, he asked me a question about my thoughts on like religion, spirituality, where are we headed as a country in terms of like, you know, what are those things going to look like in 50 years and where are we going? But I don't think the question wasn't that in depth, but it was like, you know, what do you think about religion and spirituality? Which is something I read and research all the time. I was a big, you know, left to my own devices, it was a big psychology bug. But as I get older, the psychology bug, I think, is kind of like, if you're really into psychology, in my opinion, you're also probably into religion and spiritual. I think they're all kind of connected. So that's what I've been reading about. And when he asked me about it, I completely spurged and just like, and just like one of those answers where I'm trying to talk about like 10 different things in 4 seconds and I just totally lose the thread. Kind of happens to me a lot. But I think after I did that, I said, you know what I'd like to do? And this could be, I mean, this might really sink me in terms of like this whole enterprise of this week in a solo cast. But I thought it might be good, at least for me. And, you know, if it's of some value to anybody else, that'd be great. But to kind of really lay out my, like exactly what my views are about all that stuff. I'm fascinated by like religion, you know, spirituality. And when I say spirituality, I just really mean, because it's one of those words that can get kind of like insufferable very quickly. But I think what people mean by that, if they're, you know, using it from more of like a functional perspective, not like, I'm just like really spiritual. It's like, do you have a felt connection to something larger than yourself? That's all. Religion is like the system that you can be, well, you don't need it to be spiritual, but like the difference between religion and spirituality is religion is like a time-tested system that also kind of like has its hand in kind of organizing society and it like, you know, giving people tenets to live by and blah, blah, blah. Where spirituality would be like, the felt connection to, something greater outside yourself. Dare I say God. So to answer, and this is like this kind of talk, I think it's one of the most important questions you can figure out. Me personally, like, where do you stand in terms of like your conception of the universe? And nobody talks about it because for some reason it gets very, it can get really kind of, like I said, insufferable or shitty pretty quick. But I always like to take like just a functional approach to this stuff. Because it's, and I know that's not like the end all be all of this stuff. If you're like, no, it's bigger than that, it's bigger than you. It's like, fair enough. But it's like the way I look at it is like, and there's studies about this. And I talked about this a little bit on Theo Vaughn's podcast. It's like, if you're religious versus non-religious, you on average will live, and not across the board, but if you average large groups of people, you live for like 9 years or 7 years longer than the average non-religious person, which is like, that's pretty major in terms of if there was anything out there like, if acai did that, or if, like having one glass of red wine with which they do say drinking, you live longer than non-drinkers. But they also say that's because of like the sense of community you get, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Fair enough. That's pretty cool as well. But I do think that, having something of a religious or spiritual, a genuine one, not just one forced on yourself, or, like some like sick and twisted son of a pastor. Like if you look at a girl, your dad whips you, and, if you jerk off, he fucking, spits in your mouth and calls you the devil. That stuff that's where people say like, well, actually religion can be harmful. Okay, fair enough. But whether you kind of brush this stuff off or scoff at it or whatever, at some point, every single person, and hopefully not like moments before you die, has to grapple with the question, do I believe in God or some form of that? And if you ask me, I just want to lay out, and again, I just want to lay this out. Just, I think it's fun to talk about, and it's one of those like topics that are almost like taboo now. Like I can talk about coming all day long, but if you talk about this stuff, people are like, all right, weirdo, like relax. But I think it's as important, if not maybe more than coming. So if someone asked me, do I believe in God? I would say yes. And honestly, up until 3 years ago, I would have been like, I don't fucking know, dude. I have no idea. I don't really think about that stuff. And it's like, okay, fair enough. And that's a fair enough opinion. That's where I kind of was at. But I would say yes, and it's come for me. It's like, which is, I think is fantastic. It's like that genuinely has come from, not like some like, I wasn't like caught in like a snowstorm and I was like, God, please, if you're real, say. It wasn't anything like that. It was like almost like it came from like reading books and stuff. Like it wasn't like this thing that just came from out of nowhere. It was like almost like a logical conclusion I reached to some degree. Obviously, it's not like, it's not like a mathematical formula. But so you get into this weird state of like, let's say religious versus atheistic, right? And those are like two kind of blanket terms for like a deeper philosophic view of like religious would have like, those who believe in a created conscious, or like a universe with like an intelligent universe that was designed versus a universe that lacks consciousness, lacks, intelligence per se, even though we're intelligent and whatever. That is just a uncaring, purely physical universe. And that's kind of like, so if you say, do you believe in God? Do you not believe in God? You can still live in a conscious, intelligent universe and not believe in God. But whatever, let's keep it simple, right? So it's like, people ask you, do you believe in God? I'd say yes. I don't have any kind of compunction against people who say no. I don't think you're going to go to hell forever. I don't subscribe to any of that stuff. So then what happens is, for religion, a lot of people, and this was big more so like years ago with like Bill Maher did Religulous, and then there's like, I don't know, there was all those other like super avowed atheists who would be like, oh yeah, so you actually believe that there's a guy in the sky with a beard who, it's like, well, no, and that's it's like usually the arguments between the science types and then like literalistic Bible thumpers, and it's just a stupid argument. It just, for me, I'm like, that's, if you're like a PhD in philosophy from Cambridge trying to argue with like a guy who is just like, that's what my dad said, and now I go to church too, and I literally believe the Bible. It's like, first of all, you're kind of a dick for, in my opinion, like attacking that guy. And also vice versa. If you're like a dude, you know, going to church and like literally interpreting the Bible, and some dude wants to believe in like a blind, uncaring universe, it's like, leave that fucking guy alone. I mean, I get the idea of like, you know, wanting to kind of welcome that guy into a more kind of like, you know, what you think might be a more welcoming space. And it also, to be fair to him, he could live for 9 years longer. Well, now, whether he wants to or not, because he's inhabiting a pointless, uncaring universe. Maybe he doesn't want to. Maybe he wants to die. But for me, the thing that really sold me on the possibility to kind of further investigate in terms of the religious question. And again, I'm not evangelizing. I'm not trying to like, you know, be like a weird Christian camp counselor. I'm saying this is something that if you somehow can connect with it, it has a preserving effect on your mind and body. As you know, you're planning out for this cool life, but like, dude, there's a huge chunk of it we're going to be old and dying. So, you know, it's a good thing to get into early and kind of on the ground floor. And it's also like, it might be right. But anyway, also too, and then like, this is kind of cool. I thought the term salvation itself, by the way, comes from the Latin term like salvare, which means, you know, to save, duh. But if you look at salvare, the root word of to save comes from sal, which is salt. And the whole idea, the word salvation literally means salt. It's that which preserves the flesh. So it's like, and it is kind of funny too that like, you know, that's, you know, around the time of like Roman Catholicism forming. And then scientists now are being like, oh shit, it literally preserves your physical being to somehow have a felt connection to some larger force in the universe. You know, call it God or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Doesn't matter. So, you know, and it's like, that sounds great and all, but the problem is, and I get this too, of where you go, well, yeah, but that shit doesn't make any fucking sense, man. It's like, you're telling me, it's like, you know, if all of you have available to you is like, you know, the literalistic Bible thumping view of Christianity and like Mary was a virgin, it's like, okay, man, great, whatever. I don't want to open that can of worms for people because like that's their like lifeblood, and it's like, I get it. I'm not knocking that, because at the end of the day, nobody has any fucking clue. We really don't. And it's like, you could say, yeah, but dude, come on, man. It's like, obviously I understand the rational underpinnings of the argument that like, yeah, I get that stuff, man. But I'm saying you can even put all that stuff aside too. Again, if you're just trying to get to the God question, because there is the thing where it's like, yeah, human beings probably can't wrap their head around, you know, God per se. If there is a grand, unified, organizing intelligence to the universe, which there very well might be, you're not going to know you're not going to be able to, like, oh, hey, well, let me tell you about that. You have no fucking idea. That's like an ant explaining North America. It's like, it's too big. It's too big. It's beyond the ability, almost like materially, of the mind of an ant to even comprehend even like anything really. But it's like, so what I'm trying to say is, I'm just trying to lay out how I've come to these conclusions, and the way I have is I started reading a lot of like the Eastern stuff, and they have more of like a just from a little stuff I listen to, like a naturalistic understanding of what like the creator of the universe is the universe itself. And I was like, okay, fair enough. That kind of makes sense. But the only really like the little leap of faith you have to make, in my opinion, that I did, the only thing it required of me wasn't like swallowing like a literal interpretation of, you know, the Bible and all this other stuff, which the Bible's a sick book if you actually read it. But the thing that really, I'm like, okay, maybe there is something to this, is when I was reading something about, I don't know what it was, man, like a book about Vedanta, which is like a form of Hinduism, and kind of how like basically they purported that like more or less that the universe is a conscious unified whole. So it's like, it's one thing that is designed, I mean, seems to be designed consciously. If you look at like the, you know, the weights of like there's the nuclear force, there's electricity, there's maybe magnetism, or magnetism might be total fucking bullshit like Terrence Howard says. But there's this certainly some form of like form and design, and it's pretty mind-blowing down to like the way cells organize in our body and all of this stuff. And the only real like little leap of faith that I had to make to even like entertain this as a possibility was that the universe is conscious. It's not that crazy to think about it. It's like you're conscious. And if you even go by like the standard, I would say more widely accepted view of, the scientific view, which is that like, again, we live in just a blind, uncaring, physically oriented universe that's just like balls spinning and hot things producing heat and cold things being cold. And they all just kind of pulse and bounce off each other in this like chaotic, just purely physical, meaningless thing that we've somehow emerged within, and we have the illusion of consciousness due to our senses. And like, yeah, it's like, dude, that sucks. Like, I don't know how to explain it. That like sucks. And it's like, it's like, or we're conscious, we're physical material of the universe. And since we're conscious, maybe consciousness is just another dimension of the universe. Like there's, whatever, time, space, matter, consciousness. It's just a different thing. And then if we can produce consciousness with our limited amount of material selves, then why would the universe that produced us consciously or as conscious things, how would that not have form and over with the materials given to the entire universe, or even, a huge portion, whatever? How would that not produce maybe a grand consciousness that could be something like God? It's not that crazy. And then you get to the point where you go, I can never prove any of this stuff. I never will be able to prove any of this stuff. But at the end of the day, I have to pick one of these camps of organizing my worldview. Either I can say, you know what, throwing my hat in the ring of materialistic, mechanistic universe, uncaring, pointless, I'll create my own reality within this thing. That's what it is. Or you say, no, we live in a conscious universe that's, that we're like somehow connected to, and there's higher principles that, it's like the universe is trying to like instill in us, and this is all building towards something, blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, you can't prove one or the other. You can't. And that's like Kierkegaard's whole thing. It's called the Kierkegaardian leap. He's like, Kierkegaard says you either believe in, you're either a citizen of Jerusalem, which is, you believe the Bible, you just full stop, full faith. I'm not questioning it. It'd be silly of me to question. Or he says you're a citizen of Athens, which is like rationalism, blah, blah. And he's like, you can't be both. He's like, you're either one or the other. This is what he says anyway. You're one or the other. And at the end of the day, even more weirdly, no matter which one you are, the reason you have selected that worldview is just because it's like inbuilt into you. Like the reason you selected it, you're just going to have all these inherently supporting arguments for the thing you really just kind of wanted to pick anyway. So it's like, you can't, I don't know if that makes sense. Does that make sense? So it's like anything that like you argue in your case of the one of those two worldviews you're going to pick, like your arguments presuppose themselves. That's what they say. It's like you're coming from a place where you already want it to explain it as it is anyway. So like there's like, you just got to make that leap, and that's all there is. And like, it's, you got to pick one or the other. Yeah, that was just one of his first books. It was called Either Or. It was about like either this or that. There's nothing down the middle. So you got to pick one of these worldviews. And, if you kind of look at it, you go, okay, I can never prove it either way. I don't know. One of them will give me a longer life and kind of like, potentially a better life. I don't know. Because then you can spin into like the oppressive kind of like literalistic cult-like religions that you could argue, say, dude, that's kind of fucked up. Fundamentalist Islam, kind of fucked up. Okay, fair enough. But it's like, if you've somehow been lucky enough to inhabit such an educated place to produce something like the scientific materialist kind of worldview, it's like, shout out to, yourself and your descendants. That's kind of a nasty achievement. But then it does put you in this kind of like thing where it's like, yeah, it's cool we did that, but like, fuck, man, this is shitty and desolate. I don't want to think about just like dying pointlessly. And it's not even like, you could say, oh, that's just a cope. It's like, not even, dude. Because you genuinely don't know. But this is the kind of conclusion I've reached to kind of at least support where I'm coming from. And it's like, so, okay, let's just say for the sake of argument, it's like, yeah, we live in a cold, meaningless, pointless universe that's just purely physical processes, just bouncing off of each other, spinning around, heating up, cooling down, blah, 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 blah. And through some just bizarro chance of, maybe the universe is infinite, so like, it was bound to happen eventually, we develop consciousness, which is just like our senses tricking us into believing that we're a self, but in reality, we're just a fucking glob of shit, and we're having these experiences, and they're just, whatever. It's just this thing. It's a fluke that has popped out in the universe, and it doesn't belong. It doesn't exist anywhere else. Okay, fair enough. But then you go, all right, well then, what happened there? And you're like, well, the material of the universe, this unthinking, uncaring, pointless stuff, somehow very intricately organized itself into various organisms, which then formed even larger organisms and more complex organisms that one day became, human beings that became conscious and self-aware, that then throughout that gave birth to all of these like worldviews and these opinions and like transformed their own environment into a certain thing. And then within that space came up with the idea of the fact that the universe is somehow joined under some grand unifying figure, universally too, by the way, which is kind of insane. And then dedicated their time to figuring that out. And then within that space, that got transformed to the point where, there was like the Jesus message, the Buddha message, where it's basically like, go against kind of your natural impulses to a degree in service of love over kind of like just subjecting others so that you can, like kill them or rule over them. Like, no, you should probably just like be nice to people, be nice to yourself, and you'd be easy on yourself because you're just, we're really just animals and we fuck up all the time, but we can genuinely, if we put our mind to it, we can move ourselves collectively towards a better experience than we currently have. And then, so it's like, okay, that's all occurring in a stupid, like pointless physical universe. But then the pointless, stupid, unconscious matter somehow comes up with an organizing principle that the matter itself responds positively to, meaning like your body, your organism, if you're like, for some reason, and it's literally backed up by science because the people are living longer when they like practice those tenets and like take them seriously, that same dumb physical matter responds positively. So the matter itself is responding positively to the message that the scientists dispute. And it's just like, dude, I don't know if that makes sense. But for me, I'm like, yeah, man, like I'm not going to argue with my cells. My cells like the religious spiritual worldview. I'm not going to like subject them to like wear and tear unnecessarily by trying to be an atheistic badass. That's all I'm saying. That's my point. That's at least my, not to get, that's my metaphysics. That's my metaphysics, which is just, metaphysics is a fancy word for like how did things start, how did things come to be. And it's an argument that nobody can prove otherwise, which is my favorite kind of argument because
you're on your Terrence Howard.
Yeah, I'm on my Terrence. I'm not trying to jack Terrence Howard swag, but I was pumped to see him just go off like that. That is my Terrence Howard spiel of like, I've been studying spirituality. I think like he studies physics, although he might be totally valid. I'm not trying to knock him on that, but that is my that's my argument against atheists. It's like, dude, you can miss me with all that like literalistic interpretation bullshit. Not going to catch me on the dogma, but coming down to the fabric of the universe and consciousness, and I genuinely think it's built into the universe, and I think we can be connected to a larger consciousness than ourselves that clearly, for some reason, has communicated to us that we need to be a little more kind and understanding to one another. And then when we do that, our body responds positively to that message, which is just stupid physical matter. So even if it is all bullshit, it's like, it's kind of a no-brainer for me. It's like, yeah, you got to take a spiritual outlook on life if you want to make it through the long haul. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I mean, I could go further into that, but I don't know, Josh, is this anything good?
Maybe people live longer because they feel like they have souls and they have love in their heart. And so then the other one is like, negative, I'm an empty vessel, I'm a nihilist.
Yes.
So,
but then your physical, the physical makeup that the fucking goddamn materialists worship so much, it breaks down under their own system.
Mm-hmm.
The worldview itself creates entropy within your own system. So Yeah, that's my entire, honestly, that's my life philosophy, is that like, yeah, I think you got to get in touch with something like that. I mean, you don't have to. If you don't want to, don't do it. I don't care. I mean, well, I do care. I want you to be all right. But like, yeah, I think the whole point of life too is then to like, you shed your mortal core. Eventually you die, but then like what you can leave behind is just like not a field, but like you can leave, like almost like what karma is, but it's just like, I just think of it like, it's just like, are you leaving a good feeling in the hearts of people you know and love and don't know and interact with in some level? Or are you leaving a bad taste in their mouth and creating more strife, more bullshit? And it's like, you can leave kind of clean in terms of your effect on people. Even in the positives, that's kind of my goal, just to kind of create a beautiful work of art, obviously, and then leave this earth as just something nice, a little smile on the faces of people who live after me. And that's for me, I'm like, that's enough. It's enough for me. It makes me feel good at the end of the day. So yeah, I know, really soppy and really preachy. I'm sorry, dude, but I don't know what else to talk about. All right. I'm happy I got that off my chest. This could be received very negatively, but I just, my God, I can't keep it in, man. That's all I think about. And, I just want everyone to be chilling as much as they can, dude. No unnecessary strife. If you hate this, hate it, bro. It's all good. I get it, man. And I'm not saying that as a dick. I genuinely get it. I don't really like, actually, that's not totally true. I kind of like I don't really like being trapped with my thoughts. It's like, I kind of actually do enjoy them. Sometimes I don't, but sometimes I do. So thank you guys so much. This was the much dreaded solo podcast. How long did we do? What was that? An hour?
Hour 16.
Nice, man. That's about hour, 2 hours and 45 minutes, bro, of just bullshit. So, Josh, thank you so much for letting me do this. Guys, have pity on my fucking pathetic self and just hopefully there's something of value there for you guys. But I pulled back the curtain for about a couple hours, man. That's exactly what's going on in my mind. So, God bless you all and have a good day.
I don't know, dude. Just chilling.
No, this free spirit, isn't it?
Just watching the rise and fall of Reggie Jenkins.
Oh man,
it's pretty good.
well thanks for having me in your home. Thank you so much, dude. This is something. This is the type of energy I needed from this guy here. It's my guy. All right, man, we're gonna go do this pod. What we got going on?
I'm turning off the TV. I'll be in there.
Oh, then why do you have it so loud? You're right there. Oh man, I love this. All right, man. Well, let's go to work.
Yeah, I'm coming.
How does it feel?
I don't know. That was the last thing I expected to see.
Yeah, the bag's on you.
Yeah, the bag's on me.
Hello. Lemare's going to cry.
Lemaire, are you crying, Lemaire?
I'm not crying, dude. Just very surprised.
It's a good surprise.
Yeah, it's a nice surprise, dude.
It was tough to keep you out. Normally you're asleep by 1. So I thought we could sneak in there while he'd still be asleep.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Instead,
Get on top of him.
He tried to go to the gym this morning, and I had to be like, "No, dude, get back in your room. I have a meeting." I told him I had a meeting, and he was like, "Oh, okay."
I have a meeting works really well on a lot of people.
Yeah.
I have a common. I don't think it's even like the parlance anymore, but I have one where I tell my one buddy, and he knows. I'll be like, I got to Zoom. And the Zooms, I don't think people are even Zooming anymore, but he knows that just means I'm leaving.
Yeah.
I got to go.
It's a good move. Well, what's going on?
Thanks for coming,
Yeah.
Cody Rose. Appreciate
thank
you, man. We're stoked.
We're in Austin, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is it.
Yep.
My dad grew up in East Austin, and I feel like I forget that. And
Yeah,
I feel bad because I'll come into town. And I got 2 nephews who are at the University of Texas. Just
That's awesome.
Forget to say hi.
Breeze
Yeah.
right over them.
Yeah, they're out there doing it.
You
Yeah.
gonna say hi to him today?
Nope.
you got a fucking
No, we
Zoom
already
meeting.
Yeah, I got a Zoom.
Hey, your dad's from East Austin? I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, he was from East Austin. His whole story coming up in Austin was just like, especially when he got into his wrestling career and the American Dream. He was a plumber's son.
Yeah.
My grandfather Virgil was a plumber, but the story he would tell, and you see it in a lot of the old territory wrestling interviews, is that like they were down on their luck style plumber. But my mom knows better. He was a non-union plumber who was killing it.
Yeah.
He was doing very well.
Yeah.
And Dusty, my dad, was like his pride and joy. You see all these pictures of him in like full blown brand new cowboy outfits and like the red wagon and everything. I mean, they weren't super, super rich or anything like that, but it's funny to hear the story as it's told later in my dad's career. Cause I'm the common man. Dad was a plumber. I came up on the streets. Yeah. There's some elements of that I don't know about, There's a lot of big, like my life ends up very much. Have you seen the movie Big Fish?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So my life, I felt like that movie hit me in a way that no movie has ever hit me. When my dad passed away and we were at his service, it is literally like the scene in Big Fish where you realize, man, a lot of this stuff was real. Like a lot of these stories were, geez, like these characters it's accurate, which is a crazy thing to think. But yeah, the lore, it was there.
You're just calling him out on that one detail.
Well, this is I don't mind it because, like, hey, he's a plumber's son. They grew up on a
technically
selling the story.
It's real. Yeah. It's real. But I always laugh. Like my mom knows a little better on that. How he was treated very well. You know? Yeah.
I'd like to hit my dad with that. My dad, I like to tell him he was fake poor. My dad, he loves crying poor. Oh, I'm 1 of 10. We didn't have a pot to piss. All that shit. It's like, bro, you're spoiled, dude. Shut up. You're spoiled. We call it Springsteen when you pretend to be more working class than you are. It's Bruce Springsteen.
I feel like that's maybe all generational.
Yeah.
They seem to, for how bad it was, they seemed to get everything they ever wanted. Everybody got the big family and everything, and I get it.
College was $20. House was $150.
Right.
Yeah, they're doing great.
And then, because we're talking about your hours, sleeping hours. When are you up? When are you down?
That's a good question, actually.
Lemaire, when are you up? When are you down?
Wait, why are you talking to me?
No, this is actually important.
Oh, what are you trying to talk shit?
Show the fucking bell.
Lemaire, we've got guys in our group that run at a completely different speed. That they're, if you text them at 7 a.m., you'll receive a reply at 1 p.m. That's when he's up.
It's kind of most of this squad.
Okay, yeah.
Other than Matt's awake, the rest of the squad is.
See, I'm from like a different, I think I'm misplaced in time. I'm up super early.
Yeah.
I'm a total goody two shoes. I'm also a real let everyone know I'm working real hard here, guys. Like
speaking my language.
Most of the guys who wake up early let everyone know they're up early.
Yeah, they're really like it's a contest.
Everyone goes, just I'm awake right now. I do it every single time.
It's the best.
I loved it, because we were just filming a TV show and I had to wake up every day like 6. Every day I would text all my friends, be like, dude, wake up, you bums, dude.
Yeah, the struggle, man.
Get up.
Yeah, rise and
Jesus
grind.
Christ, I'm already working.
There is something beautiful to getting up early in the morning. There's a whole day that you don't. That's just
it is nice.
It's awesome.
I discovered the super old man thing that I do. I was describing it as maybe the most old man thing I do. We just went to the beach with my girls, and I go down to the beach right when the chair part, like the chairperson opens, and I'm there waiting to get my beach chairs, and then I put stuff in the chairs.
Yep.
So that people know these are taken.
These chairs are
These are taken. And I was standing around with a group of men that were much older and talking about things a lot different than what I would be talking around. I thought this is where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
This is me.
Now I have 2 little kids. Any chance you can get to just like get it like a solo 15 minutes is pretty nice.
Yeah.
I would wake up. We're at the beach. I wake up like I got to set the tent up now. I'm gonna set it up. It's nice too. You're like, oh, it's probably low tide now. I'm gonna push it back a little. High tide's coming.
Start gauging the tides.
This is all bullshit.
Yeah, I know the tides,
bro. I love that.
No concept of tides. I don't know how long this lasts or when they go back out. I have no clue.
No, you got to
that you're thinking about the tides.
Got it, man.
That's the type of talk I want.
Yeah. I just make it up. I go out there and
Yeah.
just go like, yeah, probably low tide coming
I
in.
will. This is my theory on it. You guys with your kids. You can be wrong about everything all the time.
Yeah.
To your little kid. You can go, the sun explodes at night.
Yeah.
And they'll go, holy shit.
Yeah, but then they start going to school and then they start calling you.
But I think for like 6 years, you have just like, I've never been wrong.
No,
I haven't been wrong in 6 years. I can say anything.
Yeah.
Complete free reign.
You
But
go, the tides are going to be gone in 20 minutes.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
really?
running up against
How'd you know?
kindergarten right now. She's debunked a couple
Now
of my
she's
things,
starting
and
to
I'm
debunk,
like, yeah,
dude.
well, your teacher doesn't know.
She's starting to
you know.
investigate the investigators. She's starting to find out some things.
Yeah, you're undefeated for a while.
Yeah,
You're undefeated. But it's also to the tides thing, just to get back,
Sure.
you're not totally wrong. Yeah, do you I feel like you may not know exactly what you mean. It was like low tide, high tide. There's something to what you're saying that's accurate.
Absolutely.
Water's coming in,
It's going to happen. I'd be surprised if anybody here knew the timing. Like, how long is it at high tide and low tide?
see, I got to
Are we
observe.
talking like 12 hours or?
No, it's like I think it's every.
I know the moon controls the tide.
The moon controls the
dude.
tides for sure.
I got
You're
that.
ready to go.
Yeah, I can
That's
talk
all you
tides.
need. One fact.
I can talk tides.
I look at wet sand, and then if I see the waves aren't exactly making it to the wettest point, I go, tide must be going
Tides
out.
going out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, you're undefeated right now.
What I would have liked when we visited Lemaire's room was for you to see he has a secret cabinet of his guys.
Ooh.
A shrine.
He has a shrine of guys.
Yeah.
You took down the shrine. You got made fun of too much.
Yeah.
What was
And
the
it's
shrine?
funny, man.
No, you started getting some pussy in there, and you had to fucking hide,
Guy shrine had
a
to go.
shrine. Dude.
Lemaire, what was the shrine?
It was just like Kofi Kingston and Orange Cassidy.
OC?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he had the figures in
Yeah.
there. We were like, Lemaire, dude, it's time to put down the figures. But he had them hidden in one of the cabinets.
Well, what? Honestly, why did you put him down? Why'd you take him down?
I don't know. I don't know. It's just
Well, I'll
like
tell you, if you have a lady friend in there, be you. Keep your figures up, man.
True that.
Keep
Bro,
I'd say
You went in there. You can't. You can't be himself if a woman's in there.
I mean,
You can't go on watching cartoons and playing on my video game.
it was a lot of. I noticed a lot of sensory overload. TV was jacked up on a documentary, and then you were playing your RGB, and you were deep in that. Obviously, the cannabis swirling in the air
A lot of weed
as
dude.
well. And then like a very makeshift cleaning system where things were stacked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's waiting to clean. He
Yeah.
stacks them weekly.
Yeah. I'm on my way to cleaning.
It's like rings of a tree. You can see the last time he cleaned by the layers of trash.
many
You
are
go,
there?
that was April.
Oh man. Well, be proud of your figures, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't be afraid of that.
I am jealous. My nephew has all my figures now.
Yeah.
And I saw them and I was like, fuck, I was wondering where those went. I want them back, dude.
You should take them back.
I should.
Any grails in there? Anything that was real?
I was a big DX guy. So I was like, when I saw the DX figures,
Yeah.
I was like, damn, I wish I had those guys back. Stone Cold, obviously. It's a classic.
What was it about DX that was it them just
They were just being bad boys.
don't suck it?
Suck It was incredible.
Suck It
Suck It
was-
was huge.
That was the biggest. I don't know what the.
That was R6-7.
Yeah, it was.
Every single kid, if a camera was on him.
I don't know if that, like what genius it was, if that was X-Pac himself, or there's just like an absolute genius somewhere that was like, here's what we're gonna do, because that was one of my favorite things.
Yeah, do you know who came up with Suck It?
So I think if you kind of pull the thread on suck it, there's going to be 2 or 3 guys who try to say it was them, because at first people were doing a crotch chop.
Yep.
And DX classic WWE style. Let's market this. We're just going to cross
Facts.
our arms. And it's a whole nother thing. I'm gonna say it's a X-Pac. Probably, if anything, Shawn Michaels would get the credit for it, because he was doing this kind of before. But it's like the Fargo strut, which is what Ric Flair does. That whole deal. If you really look at it, it's hard to always determine who came up with it first. More wrestling, the rule is whoever got it over, whoever made it famous, it becomes theirs. Especially in like the 70s and 80s, they were just Bob Dylan songs, just straight ripping the lyrics and putting them into promos. They would do similar stuff in different territories, but there's no cable at the time.
Yeah.
So it was really whoever marketed it and patented it. Prime example, Hulk Hogan's Hulk Up. Every wrestling babyface pretty much used to do the hit ya, nope, not anymore. And they'd start coming back. And then he made it such a big thing. The Hulk Up was so the finger point that nobody else could do it anymore. And if you do it today, you're like a crazy person. If you try to Hulk up at any point, even though that was a common baby face, basically they'd be selling, hey, I'm done with you hitting me.
Yeah.
Like now I'm coming back and the crowd could feel it. But yeah, wrestling, whoever gets it over, it's theirs.
So it's Pox pretty much. It's Xbox.
I'd say so. Yeah.
That's
I
awesome.
think
Him or Sean.
Tony Yayo came up with "You Can't See Me."
Yeah. He
You
kind
don't
of
think so?
Hold on, here we go. Lemaire's
I
activated.
mean, like by the rules, John Cena got him more over. You know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Tony Yayo did it in like Get Rich or Die Trying.
But John Cena's been doing it for 20 plus years. You know.
Where do you stand on? I think you're going to be the vote. Like, where does it? It's John, right?
You're taking it from Yayo and giving
I
it
have to go
Cena?
Yayo. Then I have
Yeah,
to be the
Yayo will
vote.
get you, dude.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have him break into your room later this week.
How many people go in his room, by the way? Was that
Not
common?
many. You're
No.
one of most people don't make it back. That's a tough.
Cleaning
I'm on it.
ladies refuse.
Cleaning
Aw.
ladies do
I'm-
not go in.
I'm honored.
Yeah.
I saw you at the Austin show you came to, right? Was that Heck yeah. Good time, man.
This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks, a preferred partner of the NBA.
Oh yeah.
The regular season is wrapped up and the NBA playoffs are finally here, and there's no better way to cash in on that high-flying hoops action than Prize Picks, America's #1 sports picks app. Every bucket, every dime, and every win means more when you're playing on Prize Picks. So don't pass up your next shot with Prize Picks and get $50 instantly when you play your first $5. Ooh, who am I excited to see in the playoffs?
Yeah, who are you
Ooh,
most excited to see?
Man, who am I thinking about right now?
I'd love to see the 76ers make some noise in the playoffs.
That's
You
I
know who
like that.
if I were a guy who used Prize Picks, I would say Joel Embiid.
Ooh, more.
He's hurt again? You got to be fucking kidding me. He's having appendix surgery? There's no way. All right. Oh, my God, dude.
God
that is.
dang it.
Well, anyway, I would say Tyrese
Less.
Maxey.
A bead less.
Embiid, less for sure.
Yeah, Maxi more. Good call. Well, guys, Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you can cash in. Pick from all your favorite sports, anything from basketball, baseball, hockey, UFC, soccer, college basketball, tennis, golf, esports, and more. And the good news is, if you want to get in on the action, Prize Picks is now available in all 50 states, including California, Texas, Florida, and Georgia.
I like to include those states. When I say all 50, I want to make sure you know it is all 50. Matt,
True.
download the Prize Picks app today and use code DRENCH to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code DRENCH to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks.
It was good to be right. Now it's just Prize Picks.
Are you going to WrestleMania? Why?
Yeah, man.
I don't know. I don't know. I want to go. I don't know.
He
What's
got me
going
back
on?
he got me back into wrestling with a Mania like two years ago.
Dude, I like to say I
3
got
years
jelly
ago?
roll into wrestling too. I was
You got
still
Jelly
elite.
Roll into it?
Yeah.
So you're responsible for because Jelly is like full blown wrestler now.
Yeah.
Jelly loves it.
Yeah.
How did you get him into it?
We were in this car during the Nashville festival, and we were smoking, and then we were hanging out, and then I was like, Raw was on Monday, and I was like, I would like to go, and he was like, you should go. He saw it was Harley, I think, was doing the guest, and he was like, dude, I want to do that, and I was like, bro, you should definitely do that.
Damn.
There
They
you
can
go.
validate.
And Jelly Roll is a big part of what we do now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So that was Lemaire.
Yeah, Lemaire.
The guy
Come on,
sitting
dude.
next to a guy going, I think I'm going to do that. And he goes, yeah, you should. Yeah, that was all me.
That was me, dude.
Yeah, but well, you got to come to Mania, man. It's Vegas.
Oh, no.
You got to come to Mania. But you got into it because of?
He got me into it for a minute. It was
Yeah.
it was during WrestleMania, and I was like, Lemaire, turn this fucking, I don't like watching wrestling. Turn this off. And then I started watching it, and I was like, oh,
Got ya.
shit. And then we were watching it. Actually, I watched the last few Manias when yours. When Taker came back and like all that, I was
Oh,
laying
man.
on this
On the
couch.
link, man.
Yes, I was laying on the couch, and then when the lights went out and Taker came back, I was like,
It brought you back.
Everything came back. I was like, holy
Yeah.
shit.
He I've told this story before, but he ran to the ring with 2 brand new, I believe, either hips or knees. He had just had double, and this was the first time he'd run. But the blackout when we do it in the stadiums or in the arenas, it's not full like it is on TV.
Yeah.
It's you can see a bit, and he rolled in the ring in a way that he could have probably killed a full blown lion. He had such testosterone. And so, I mean, he was so ready to be standing up. And for that moment, it was incredible just to see how agile, this is why Undertaker was such a great athlete, agile he was. But then again, in the moment, he hits the chokeslam on Rock. And I told him when he was on my podcast, but I can't believe it happened this way. He literally looked over to me. And I think I missed the moment a little bit because I think he was looking for a little bit of, I got you, kid. Sheriff's leveled the playing field here. But I was just half dead from whatever Roman and I had done. But he completely just winked at me. Lights went out.
Dude,
I was
so sick.
I was in it.
Yeah.
I was so like, man. It's again like the big fish element of it. With what we do, the suspension of disbelief, what's real, what's not. You cannot convince me that he's not magical.
That's so sick.
He caused those lights to go out and saved my WrestleMania. So, do you know that's how my Eagles love all started?
No, I had no idea.
Okay, so I bounced around NFL wise. I'm from Georgia. I'm from Marietta, Georgia. So as far as teams to root for in Georgia that are safe, the Bulldogs in Athens can't ever go wrong with UGA. The Braves are going to consistently be a good team. I got really into the Falcons as a kid.
I'll let you down a little.
Michael Vick came on board.
That's awesome.
2 season tickets sold out. I was wearing that number 7 jersey every day. I was all about it. And then the worst thing that could have possibly happened in the state of Georgia.
Yeah.
And then we fell off as a fandom. And then, of course, Matty Ice and the comeback. So I always loved my home team, but I was never fully juiced in.
Yeah.
My sister, my oldest sister, she ended up, her big dream growing up, she wanted to cheer for the Cowboys. So she cheered for the Cowboys for 2 seasons. So most of my family are Cowboys fans, but I never really had a team. So I bounced all around. Every year I just kind of take a pick.
Yeah.
Hey, I like a good SEC quarterback. I'll follow him. My favorite arena to perform in is Wells Fargo in Philadelphia. It's a hard arena. They like the bad guys more. And for whatever reason, on a night I had nothing going on. This is Money in the Bank years ago. I'm sorry, I'm looking at you, Lemaire. Like you know,
I guarantee he does.
You know, and the way the story we told the match was like maybe they'll get behind Cody because this is kind of an odd group that we don't have a running favorite. Maybe they'll get behind him. They got behind me in this match, and the story of the match was more about me losing than winning. But after that, I thought, so strange. I'm a Nepo baby in the business. A lot's been handed to me. This is a type of crowd that wouldn't take to me. And from years of performing in front of them, they did. So I always had this Philly love. Fast forward to the biggest match of my life and where my whole life changes and why the title exists, like why I have it here is there on the link is WrestleMania 40. And after that, I just couldn't. I mean, I dressed in their locker room.
Yeah, that's awesome.
My life changing as an entertainer in the wrestling business, all discussed right there in that infrastructure. So I just felt I'm in. I'm in.
Go
and
Birds.
Also, good team.
Go Birds.
True. Like
Go Birds, dickhead.
Great conversation with Sirianni, everything, like a great team. I'm in and you know, everything he did, I felt like I had just something about this place.
Yeah.
Fast forward to, I want to take my some of the camera guys and one of our writers at WWB, his name's Kirsch, and our director. They want to go to this Phillies Raiders game in Philadelphia. Like they want to go to the Eagles Raiders game in Philadelphia. And I was like, oh, we can do it. We can make it work. And I didn't want to go through anybody. I just got a suite, got it catered. I didn't try to do any of these hookups. The same game that I did this, Joe Biden was at. And I'm not kidding. They treated me better than they treated Joe Biden.
So that's kind of unsurprising.
That makes sense. I know those guys.
I got pictures of me on the field throwing the ball. I stood by the tunnel. They made everyone in my crew feel amazing. So afterwards we're going to leave. We've had the best experience ever, especially some of the crew who this was just all of it was a bonus. Hey, come back, come in the locker room. Going in the locker room, doing some local access interview about how the offensive line played that day. And I'm just talking nonsense, but they treated me like a native son. So every time I go, it gets deeper. Like I can't because my mom the other day, she asked me, she goes, why are you an Eagles fan? Nothing ever good happened there. And I'm thinking, you were in the ring, Michelle. You were like, that's where they play, you know? But yeah, that's where it all started. So I'm new.
It's fun.
But man, they've been so good to me.
Yeah, the Eagles are awesome.
Yeah. Also, going back to the Nepo baby thing, I don't like that idea at all. You hear about like Ice Cube's son, all this stuff, and it's like the idea of somebody working hard and then putting their kids in a good position to like work hard and do good stuff, and people resent that. I'm like, I look at it like a Roman senator. It's like you're just bringing more glory to the house. Yeah. So it's like, dude, it's like O'Shea Jackson. He brings glory to the house of Cube. You bring glory to the house of Rhodes. That whole thing. I'm just not with that, man.
Bro, it's spot on. That's it. I mean, the song I'm a super dramatic person, and when it comes to wrestling, I take it so seriously for how often silly the job actually is. But I mean, the first words of my song are wrestling has more than one royal family. And it's all about, the Harts, the McMahons, the Guerreros, and finally getting a little, hey, the Rhodes are here, dude. We're going to run the score up.
Fuck yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. I think that's awesome. When you hear people like, ooh, it's like, dude, tell your dad to do better, man. Tell your dad to step it up, man.
So anybody who brings their kids around work and if they're like young boys or whatever and they're thinking about getting into wrestling, I always tell them like, hey, it's going to be easy for you. Private jets, you're not going to be commercial. And I can always see like their parents like, stop. You get on the tour bus, like, hey, you got a little heat in the locker room. That's okay. Like just if it's going to be bad, just lean into it.
Yeah.
Lean into it. Like WrestleMania. Somebody called me the golden boy yesterday in a backstage pre-tape or a few weeks ago on TV. And I thought hilarious because I used to be a job guy here. I started very low here, but after that I decided I'm going to just go in on this and my Mania gear, a lot of gold, like real.
Yeah, it was sick.
Real little bit of a under the cowl.
Oh,
you man.
Yeah,
you know what I
you're
mean?
fucking right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
You got to go, dude.
What was Hardcore Holly like? Seems like a cool dude.
Big Bob?
Yeah.
Do you have any bodybuilders in your life?
No.
Just me.
Yeah.
Matt's been juiced up for a while.
So he was the first guy who taught me how to train, but his life consisted of one night I drove him from Jamestown, New York to somewhere in upstate New York in the middle of a blizzard, and we get to a Red Roof Inn at 7 a.m. Legit, barely. This has just been brutal. The show's not till 7:30 the next day, and I asked him when he wanted to meet, and he's an old school guy who they didn't just set times. They say, "Oh, call me when you wake up." That thing, like, no, tell me the time, because that's weird, all right? But he was like, I don't know, what is it, 7:30 now? Let's say meet at 10. What?
Yeah,
What?
Sleep for 2 hours.
What? And we'd work out, we'd eat, then we'd have nothing to do. We'd eat again. He was just very much the first guy I met. That was one thing he did right by me. He taught me about, I guess, proper training and proper nutrition, and took me to the gym. And as far as a tag team partner, he was one of the toughest guys in the locker room, so no one ever really messed with any of us. But then other nights he'd scare me. I think he, like, one night I was in the shower, and you know those soap caddies, the things you put a bar of soap. I guess I was taking too long, and he was getting frustrated with them anyways. And all of a sudden, that soap caddy flew by my head and shattered against the shower wall
Oh my God.
at like a Mariano Rivera speed, to the point where I hope he wasn't aiming for me, because that would have killed me.
Yeah.
But no, he was he has a very grumpy reputation, but at the time I got nothing but respect for it, because I needed that. I think that's why they put us together. Give him the most curmudgeon. I mean, his name is Hardcore Holly. Let's see how they do. He'd do one thing he did that would always be a lesson, but a tough lesson. Sometimes he did way cooler stuff than me in the ring, and then they'd build the big hot tag, we call it. The guy's getting beat up, he's getting beat up, he's getting beat up. Finally, the other team are going to power play style, switch the odds here. And sometimes, instead of him getting beat up to tag me in and give me this big glorious moment, he'd just grab a guy in a full Nelson and pick him up and slam him, which is a full Nelson slam, which is a finish basically.
Yeah.
And then he'd just walk over and tag me like this. And I'd get in and like, oh, punch. Drop
Just
kick.
coming and kick him while he's down.
And I was already like really plucky. He's like, yeah, baby. Like, this guy. So he was the exact right person. Still friendly with him to this day, I think. The exact right person I needed in my life. A wild one, but never did anything crazy or unsafe because he's got a lot of weird stories. He was great by me. What I needed at the time.
What is the training like then? Because you got like, it's almost probably similar to bodybuilding, but then you probably have to do a lot of like, I don't know, like agility, balance, flexibility. So you don't just like jump off a thing and rip everything.
Today, it's the way NXT operates, which is our developmental system, the Performance Center. I like how I came up, which was a different system. I went to OVW, where you got with like-minded people. You'd sit there and watch wrestling. This is before the network. It was WWE on demand. It was like $7.99, like on the cable package. You could watch MSG network shows and stuff like that. I got around people who liked wrestling. I'd go to the gym. That was it. If you liked it, you'd click. Today, they've got it all mapped out really well. They've got exactly what you mentioned. They've got agility. They've got multiple rings, including one that has an extra layer of pad and bounce. If you're going to try big high spots, they've got Shawn Michaels. Again, we're talking about probably the greatest in the ring ever. So that's your head coach. How could you not be good? The system they have down there with the Performance Center now is designed for the NIL athlete because they're used to it. I came from baseball. I came from football. I came from gymnastics. So they need all that. They need a room that's a recovery suite. They need a full-blown weight room, which they have. They need all that. When I came up, you were just doing it yourself, which I liked because you found like-minded people. I remember my whole class of coming up from OVW, but the system now, it's a lot healthier.
Yeah.
A lot healthier to get everybody ready. But the bodybuilding aspect of it, because since 2007, the wellness policy is there. So the bodybuilding aspect of it, there's a couple OGs still who treat it that way. For the most part, it's all shapes and sizes again.
Yeah.
A little 80s, 70s style where not everyone is shredded to the gills and not moving. There's a lot of, I guess, better athletes, I suppose. Yeah.
There's less juicing.
I would try to put it in a different way.
Because those boys were flying, dude. Old wrestling's nuts.
You nailed it.
See old wrestling, you see a guy sprint that like Ultimate Warrior. I'm not saying he was. Well, he probably definitely was, but see him just sprint out of the fucking tunnel. You're like, this guy's the highest guy I've ever seen in my life, dude.
It's kind of awesome, though.
Yeah.
There's this crazy clip of Road Warrior Hawk, I think, running. This is pre-WWE, but talking about that type of energy and flowing through the veins.
Yeah.
He's running out in a studio TV show. So his distance he needs to move is about 10 feet to the ring. And then he's going to have to turn to face the little studio camera. Forget if he was saving my dad or if they were saving somebody, but he's running with such everything that he jumps the top rope, nearly hangs himself. The rope and then he's able, as strong as a bull and the adrenaline and speed, to yank his head out, save the fall, so he never falls. He jumps over the top rope where his head gets caught up, but he never loses his feet. But then he's, when you're falling and you need something to catch, he catches himself on the top rope where they're all like this anyways, like looking at the heels.
Yeah.
Like, come on. But you can tell, like,
He's just flying.
bro, you nearly, the conversation after had to be like, you nearly died.
The
Like,
classic,
just run in there, man.
Like when Ric Flair, he's old, but when he like runs into the turnbuckle and like bounces off of it, he's just flying.
I think Nature Boy, if you were to shoot him in today, that he could flip up upside down. He's got it.
What about the Shockmaster? You think he was a little juiced on that entrance?
Well, so
Shockmaster might have been juiced on that.
Shockmaster's connected to my family. I don't know if you know
I didn't
this.
know that.
So he's no longer married to my Aunt Bobby, but that was my Uncle Fred.
What?
And my dad, I'm trying to word this nicely because I don't know. I was a kid. Seems like my dad was trying to help Fred out.
Okay.
And seemed like he was trying to give him a role. He had great run at WWE as Typhoon and Tugboat. So the Shockmaster was the role. I don't like to It doesn't seem like the idea was that well thought out.
No, it was a stormtrooper mask. It was a bedazzled. It's a bedazzled stormtrooper mask.
It's a stormtrooper helmet that Janie
You've seen
Ingalls,
it, right?
Janie
Like the
Ingalls
funniest shit.
spray painted silver spray paint on it. But the story I've heard is that it wasn't Fred's fault because before when they did Flair for a Gold, this guy ends up falling as he busts through a wall. His helmet falls off, and the whole thing's dead in the water right that moment. The best part about that is Sid, who's going to WWE's Hall of Fame right now, is still trying to hang on to it. Most people in that group are like, this ain't good. We got to get out of here. Mm-hmm. We can't just go, well, cut. It's alive always with us. But Sid's going, who is that? He's trying to stay in. But the thing that Fred told everybody is there was a guy named Jackie Crockett, who was a cameraman. He put that board there to just make sure the Flair for the Gold, because it was just a 3-wall set, doesn't fall. That board apparently was not there earlier in the day, and that board is what did it. I don't know any way which this ever would have worked. Say he emerges through the wall in his stormtrooper helmet, his fur vest.
I'm the Shockmaster.
And Ole Anderson, who's doing his voice from somewhere else.
So he's like, it's not him talking. He's like lip syncing like he's talking. It's so crazy.
But okay, so this happens, and it's funny to the entire wrestling world. Some stuff is so bad it's funny. We call it a monitor sellout, where it's just, oh my God, it's gone so bad. Look at let's stay. But I had a very interesting ride home because my dad was mortified, and I'm pretty sure he thought he was going to be fired by Ted Turner and TBS. My uncle was not going to make it in that role. That wasn't going to. So we just drove home from wherever that was in dead silence. Like the Lost the Games, like that type of. So all we ever talked about was wrestling and how cool that was. But I knew
it's bombing. We do this.
Yeah.
You bomb, you get in the car with everyone, drive home silently.
Yeah, the bit didn't work out.
What's that?
Someone says one thing, you're like, dude, shut the fuck up. Seriously, I don't want to.
That's a bad drive. And there's always the one guy trying to be like, let's go to Taco Mac or something. Like, no, man. Like,
my friends. We have I'm thinking of the mashup.
Oh, it's the
funniest bomb ever. My two friends went on stage together, and just the crowd fucking hated them. And then we get in the car and we're driving back to our place, and it's just dead silent. And then finally it's like, you guys suck. And then they were like, okay, all right. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Yeah, we suck. And then after like an hour of me making fun of him, the one dude just lost his mind and tried to fight me.
Oh, no.
Well, then we had a chair. We had like a house with like 5 of us. And there's one chair we'd all play video games. If you bomb, you'd be like, dude, you got to sit in the bomb chair. You bomb tonight. You got to take the bomb chair. He kept bringing up the mashup. Yeah, and he stood up fully like, fight me right now. I can't.
I thought he was joking too. He like went into the kitchen. And he was like, you motherfucker. So I got in his face joking. I was like, and then I realized he was serious. And I was like, oh, he might murder me.
Do you feel it's important though, the passion in terms of when you bomb or have that moment, you need to have that bad night, right?
Yeah, for sure. But I would never, I don't know why I would say never. I've spazzed on so many people after I bombed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens.
I think you need that back.
Yeah. It's embarrassing though if you bomb and then you get mad at somebody else.
Yeah.
You gotta be mad at yourself.
Yeah. I almost threw a can of liquid death just the other night. Ooh. I flubbed the last like 2 words of my closer. I just like fucked up the close and flubbed the words, and I was like, all right, yeah, you guys got the idea. I'm out of here. Sorry about that. And I walked backstage and I was getting like ready just to hurl a full liquid death, and I saw a camera above me. I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll just chill. Yeah. So I just squeezed it privately. I put it against my chest and squeezed it.
I saw like right before you took a break from stand up, you got off stage at Helium, and I was on the other side of the door, and I was just like, ooh, that sucked. You're like, fuck. And I was like, oh, never mind.
I don't like
normally if you bomb, you can just be like, laugh it off. But every once in a while, you'll see someone like fully like.
No, dude, the worst. We did a comedy contest in New Jersey.
That was sick.
And I had like an okay set, and I remember the guy came up after me and was just like, yeah, this guy started just like trashing me. And I was watching it, and I was like,
he was sitting next to me, and he was like,
fucker. Shane's laughing. I'm like, it's not funny.
Yeah.
And then I've chilled out for sure, but I remember he was done. He was with his girlfriend. I like walked up to him. This was like hours later. Walked up to him like, "Yeah, it was pretty funny, man." And he was like, "Oh, okay." And I was like, "No, seriously, ever do that again?" I like pulled him in. I'm like, "If you ever do that again, I'll fucking kill you. I swear to God." He was like, "Dude, relax. I'm just kidding." He was right. I'm just being a spaz, but yeah.
No, it's okay.
As far as like wrestling promos go and the last lines being flubbed, that's one of the worst feelings ever when you think you've got some hot ammunition and then you come back and realize I got 60% of that and it didn't land. And also you feel like it's everybody else's fault. Because, or at least you go out there and it's live, so there's the camera there and there's all these other elements. I'll tell you a crazy one that people never take into account. Now on my bus, every now and then I'll try and do this, but the amount of stuff, physical stuff sometimes in wrestling. So you're just sitting there, you're talking, I'm going to say this, I'm going to say this. And then you realize like, I'm going to have the title and the mic, and then I might have the glasses on. You think of all these other elements, and those are where I usually go to blame. Like that's where, you'll know. There was one promo I did where I laid the title in front of me, and I just told the cameraman, I said, "Shoot up like it's a big dramatic shot. I can't fuck around with this thing right now. Like it's so much." Man,
I blame everything else.
Blame everything else.
When I bomb, I got a fucking crowd sensitive. Whatever. No matter what, I got a fucking guy before me sucked.
When's the last time that you felt you bombed?
It happens a lot. I bombed on Friday at the fucking United Center in Chicago.
Big building.
It was huge, the biggest,
big money,
literally the biggest arena, and that was actually sound's fault.
Yeah. So it was acoustic wise.
Acoustically, it was terrible. Okay. We fixed it. They were adjusting it the entire time during my set.
Oh,
took like 25 minutes into my set. They started to fix it.
Did you feel that? Are you your own biggest critic that you bombed by your standards, or did you feel you really?
It probably wasn't a true.
It wasn't a
bomb.
true. It was fine. The show was fine, but there was definitely like sections of people that could barely hear it. So then you're like, damn, those people wasted their money.
Yeah.
That's
and like you feel terrible about that.
You're a real one.
Well, that's the worst.
The consumer experience is everything. I feel like the longer you go in any type of entertainment, I like being around people who care, because a lot of young wrestlers, for example, they're just want to body slam him, and then he kicks me up, and we go. They're thinking very much about the two of them.
Yeah.
And then I think, especially if they go on before Raw or SmackDown era, I'm thinking there was 12,000 people.
Yeah.
They didn't mind what you did, but you could have brought them in.
Yeah.
Could have involved them. Could have get them going. Get them excited. We're about to go on air.
Yeah.
Versus do kind of your own performance.
I did the first arena I ever did. I was always like, I'm not going to use fucking like fog machines and fucking lights and shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, that's all fucking corny. It was the worst decision of all time.
Oh, okay.
I just stood on it was just silent in a stage. And then I was like, we got to get some fucking lights and shit. We got to spruce this up.
Yeah.
Because I'd see other comedians doing it. I'd be like, fucking losers.
Yeah.
And then you kind of have to.
That's kind of the George Strait in like country music world, just stands in the center of the stage.
Yeah, it turns out I'm not George Strait.
So I feel like a lot of people have the turns out I'm not George Strait moment where it's like, you know what?
Yeah.
Load it up.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Mine was night one, and then night two, I was like, all right, we got to get like some fog or something. They got one tiny like mall fog machine. It was like 100 yards away from me. There was just like steam coming out of the side. Yeah. Bombed again. I was like, oh, fuck.
That's a work in progress.
Yeah. We're figuring it out.
Yeah, that's too big of a space just to come out to and be like, walk.
Just walk out quietly.
Yeah. Everyone's waiting for you.
Crazy.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it was bad.
I used to think it would be funny to come out on stage to ambient music, like the stuff you fall asleep to.
Yeah.
I tried it once, and I was just like, I'm so
song choices. So who'll pick songs to walk out to because it's funny and the idea of it's funny. Like, what if I walk out to like flute EDM of fucking dubstep? And then every time Matt walks out at one of my shows, I'm like, who picked, what is this? Turn this the fuck off. It also plays for 3 seconds.
Yeah.
It just blasts fucking garbage. And then Matt
it doesn't even play long enough for it to land.
It doesn't play long enough.
And I also run the
You
stage
never
as fast as I
acknowledge
can.
it. You never even go, that was funny. He just starts, he's like, hey, how's everybody doing? Like, this guy's out of his mind.
Yeah, it's like, boil, 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 boil. Yeah.
What's the song? You got the song.
I know exactly what it is. I can play it right
nuts, dude.
This is a song.
How did you come up with your theme song, Cody?
Damn. That song, well, speaking of him coming out to land, songs that may not land.
Hold on, you got to hear this fucking.
Hit it.
I got a good one right here. Where is this? I think is it this one? Oh, here it is. I found it. No. It's not that.
They're
Here
probably
it
going to
is.
sound pretty similar.
It's right. I
But
got
I
it
am
right
excited
here.
to
I'm
hear
worried that there's such a long list.
Here we go. Let me skip ahead a little bit.
It's good. It's a good fucking wrestling walkout.
This rock 56 seconds.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. I worry though.
It's crazy.
The song doesn't really tell us anything about you, right? Like,
Other than I privately think that's funny to come out to that.
because to your question, the trick with a wrestling song, all the greatest wrestling music, it doesn't need to be a good song. It needs to be a catchy song. Jimmy Hart, the Mouth of the South, the manager for Hogan, he was making all that great 90s content music that ended up being everyone's favorite. It was catchy. I like Kingdom, the song I come out to, but and I actually think those guys are great. Downstate's great. It's a great song. It's done amazing things. It's the only walkout song I think WWE has that WWE doesn't own, which I don't know how we feel about that. But the issue is I hear it so much that, especially at the end of the night, if I'm doing the rounds and I'm staying and they're just playing that one song, it gets you.
Yeah.
And then I heard my daughter the other day, she doesn't know the words, but she was saying like something, she put Paw Patrol in it all of a sudden. It's very, you can, I've heard people do the something Cody Rhodes, which is just kind of the appropriate way to sing it and whatnot. As long as you get to the whoa.
What do they say?
Well, it's the way nobody seems to know the words, but there's one part of like something Cody Rhodes, and it's if you think of it that way, it's a pretty interesting song by WWE standards too. It's got my voice, which I recorded on a Generation 1 iMac when I first left WWE, because I took this song on the road with me.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things why WWE doesn't own it. I took it when I went and did independence and started myself back over to eventually come back to WWE. But I can say this, it can never change. Unless I was to go, bad guy, then that song is out, I suppose. But that's the other thing. I'm locked into it. We're married together, that song and I.
Oh, here we go. This episode is brought to you by No Bull.
Matt, please speak for 15 to 20 seconds about the worst pair of pants you've ever had. And go.
Worst pair of pants I've ever had. I know what they are. So I had another brand of high-end activewear, but they were so sleek, they felt almost like pantyhose. And I would get I'm just talking pants right now, no bull. I would have like a doorbell bulge. It looked like you could literally press the button and enter my house. They were so tough. First of all, they were like so tight on me, and I felt like a girl.
You're saying your dick and nuts were sticking out.
Yeah, like I was dressed.
I felt
it was
like soft enough that it'd probably give you a slight chub all day.
That's the thing, but then it goes away. I was just so conflicted because I was like, am I like that one politician's husband? If you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
I felt like him
Chocolate
a little bit.
blue.
I felt like him a little bit. Worst experience with pants ever, and then I was hard on the flight the whole time.
You're gonna love this. No Bull has decided to put an end to our misery.
Thank God.
All right, it's a training brand known for award-winning footwear and apparel, and now they're bringing their no bullshit attitude to men's pants. What the fuck?
Can you even say that?
I guess. These guys are edgy as hell. Starting with these things called the Deal Maker. It's basically a full-on jean swap. Same look, but breathable, stretchy, and actually comfortable. No stiffness, no weird breaking in period, none of that.
Like a good jean swap.
I love a jean swap. And then there's the game changer, slacks, made out of sweats.
What?
You ever fucking think about it? It seems impossible, but it's super soft. There's tons of stretch, and they still look sharp as hell.
Perfect.
I'm going to say, Mom, can you go to the store? I need you to buy me the Deal Maker and the Game Changer. She's going to go, son, that's bullshit. And I'm going to go, no, Mom.
Noble.
That's noble. Exclusively for secret pod listeners. Noble.
You're a madman.
I mean, I am a madman, dude. All I do is sit here and drink whiskey in this chair. Exclusively for secret pod listeners, Noble is offering 35% off your first and holy shit, 35% off your entire first order. Visit nobleproject.com and use code secretpod for 35% off of your entire first order. That's nobleproject.com and use code secretpod. Respectfully, Gene's had a good run. Monday, May 4th, I'll be at the Hollywood Bowl in Los Angeles, California. Monday, May 4th. And then May 7th, I'll be at TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. I'll be there the 7th, 8th, and 9th, but there's still tickets on the 7th, on a Thursday. So please come.
Let's go. Guys, 4/17, please come to the Celebrity Theater, Phoenix, Arizona. It's in the damn round. Right now, I'm about to be in the U. I need you guys to complete the circle, so I'm not just in the U. Otherwise, I'll be a pendulum. I'll just go back and forth. I need to come to get that orbital velocity. So please come to the Celebrity Theater. And then after that, the Celebrity Theater is not looking bad. I have hope for that. Tucson, Arizona. What the fuck did I ever do to you guys?
Yeah, what's your problem?
Come out to Tucson. Come on, guys. It'll be fun. The Rialto Theater.
Go Roadrunners.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah. And the Toronto, you guys keep doing what you're doing. That's going to be great. Riviera Theater, Chicago, May 16th. And that'll be fun as well. It's just goddamn Phoenix and Tucson kicking my ass right now.
We'll figure it out.
We'll get them. My word.
We'll find her.
Bye.
I was a big Smoke America's guy, like the Nash and Cody Rhodes. Yeah, that's my
Speaking
guy.
of bad guys, what's going on with that prick Pat McAfee?
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah, what the hell, dude?
What a prick.
Yeah.
How well do you know?
I know him pretty well.
Yeah.
He's a jerk.
Let me see what I can. Let me see.
I'd like to stomp him in Las Vegas WrestleMania. I'm going to beat the fuck out of Pat McAfee.
I mean, that would honestly be awesome.
I actually have to open the Strait of Hormuz again, though.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Fucking they closed it, so I can't go to Vegas.
True.
I've been told that some of the people in his orbit, his circle, think he's the next Sylvester Stallone in terms of TV film. I don't know if I'm getting that. From what I've watched, I have very limited knowledge on Pat, other than I love me some College Game Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is very good on College Game Day.
I will say, I know you don't want to hear this. He's the fucking man, dude.
Yeah, I
love Pat.
I would say I'm glad. I'm glad. There are people who like to pitch themselves in these WrestleMania and these big moments. I'm flattered.
Yeah, he wants to be a part of it.
I'm flattered.
Yeah.
That's his Lemaire. You shaking your head? No.
What was
Lemaire, have you turned on Pat?
Have you turned on Pat? This is a Pat friendly house, right?
I haven't turned on Pat, but like, dude, like, you know, like, it doesn't make any sense.
Talk your shit, dude.
Yeah. Talk it.
Like, yeah.
Talk it, because I'm not.
Yeah, give me
I'm just going to do the Mariah Carey answer moving forward on Pat McAfee. I don't know him.
There's like no tough punters. Like, you know?
Yeah.
What's the
Hey, I'll
context?
say this, all right? Because he kicked me in the, like, below the belt here.
Yeah.
That was an NFL punter. That was, that might be, though you want to stay away from those legs.
Yeah.
I don't know. That might be it. Yeah. This is the first time I've been asked about him. And I think henceforth, I'm just going with the Mariah Carey, I don't know him response, even though I might.
What was the nature of the betrayal? What exactly happened?
Oh, man.
What did he do?
Let's see how we could explain. Randy Orton, who I'm wrestling at WrestleMania, we have almost 2 decades of history between each other. He was my mentor. I had Cena, who I drove around. I had Randy. Very different opinions, but also really helped shape me. We were on screen together as part of his group legacy. He had my dad's last match, my first match in the company against Randy. There was a lot of rich story material. And then we inserted Pat McAfee. And we are literally in that part right there.
Yeah.
So your question is everybody else's question.
True.
And
what the hell's this guy even doing here?
No, you know, like the troops all outside and there's that clown, right? I'm not saying he's like the clown in that regards. It's an interesting fit. And we're gonna see where it goes.
You're saying he's not a serious person.
No, I don't. I think he seems like you can't have that much success and be ground up like he is without being a serious person and having been to the Thunderdome. And
for sure,
there's what I would say is right now what I've seen is everyone around Pat McAfee, his orbit, probably someone needs to say no. every now and then. That seems like a dangerous group of people to, you need, like we were talking about Bob Holly earlier, man. You need that one guy in the room to be like, I don't know, man, jumping into the WrestleMania main event. Also, while I was getting my ass kicked in the ring the other night, looking up, and he's wearing shades. Like he put the shades on to go out there. It's a different era of wrestling. It was like watching a guy at a bar do like a Stone Cold impression or like, and here's the thing. And I'm really trying to, I'm just going to stick with I don't know him, but this is my, I heard him again, getting my ass kicked. I heard him talk about the Attitude Era, and I'm thinking, oh man, I don't think he knows. Almost 30 years ago, almost. So love it. And it was the most prolific era in the business until the last 4 years.
Yeah.
So if you're part of the last 4 years, you kind of feel like, why are we talking about this? You know what I'm saying? We're playing in this game. Why are we talking about this? And no. I'll stick with the official though. I don't know him. Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
Should be interesting.
Oh, that's the best part about it. It's very interesting. WrestleMania and something that modern wrestling fans, and more what I mean is younger fans who didn't watch WrestleMania 1 or 2, the original WrestleMania was built on the celebrity interaction.
Mm-hmm.
Like Mr. T, Hogan, Liberace, everything there, Wendy Richter, everything, like it was all
Liberace
built.
wrestle.
Mike Tyson and when WrestleMania with him and with Sean and Steve. So there's always that element. Now Pat is there.
There was hat in the ring.
He's in it.
He's the new Liberace, is what you're saying.
in that list of celebrities who come to the first WrestleMania, Muhammad Ali, Mr. T, Wendy Richter, and Liberace. You decide where Pat falls on the list. You decide.
Well, there's that.
Yeah, I was watching I just saw an Instagram reel of when Mayweather was on, when he punched Big Show. I watched that live and I was like, he really fucking punched him.
Yeah.
And then them talking about it was pretty sick.
Also, I think the Big Show, they had a nice agreement between each other. That when wrestling's done right, the best thing ever is when you can just have a little bit of doubt on, seems like those guys do hate each other.
Yeah.
Seems like, and we have a lot of that in both main events this year. There's a lot of sincerity to the suspension of disbelief.
I just believed you.
Yeah.
About that.
Well, I tried very hard to navigate, and he's your buddy.
it, yeah.
So now I'm sitting here, I feel bad.
No, dude.
Now you got to do it. It's
When you're here,
WrestleMania.
I'm turning
Dude.
on Pat, dude.
It's WrestleMania.
Yeah.
It's WrestleMania too.
Pat backstabbed me on College Game Day.
Judging. Oh, bro, you got
He told me Nick Saban loved joking around. Nick Saban does not love joking
We're
around.
having fun here, right?
We got done. He was still going. He was like, dude, go talk to him. There's no way he was serious. I was like, I think he was serious.
Yeah, well, so he's such a serious guy, Saban. The crazy thing from my game day experience, did you have notes when you did yours?
No.
Thank you.
I didn't know what was going on.
You just went and did, well, you
Yeah.
know college football.
I had a couple
And you
drinks.
played
I had a
football.
couple drinks during the day too. It was a night game. It was a Notre Dame playoff game at night, dude. Matt got on there. Matt fucking kicked
Almost
the
made
field
the
goal.
field goal.
It was a nice
Almost
boot.
made it.
Yeah,
Close.
it's such a great show.
It's
And
fun.
I went on and I had the night before kind of like a set, had been thinking of because there's some teams I don't know. I don't know enough about Kansas State, but I want to be able to make my picks. And I'm in Athens and I go up there and I got the title and I got the Fanatics other UGA title. They're making me bring up there. So I didn't have notes. And I sat down next to Coach Lee. I sat down and he looked at me and just went, "No notes, huh?" And I thought, fuck.
Oh, shit.
Shit. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. No. Could I have notes? I would have not been able to memorize who won this award because some of those teams I'm not watching.
Yeah.
I'm an SEC guy mainly for the most part. That's where I was at, but I loved game day. Loved it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
You did great on game
Thanks.
day, man. Yeah, I like
We're gonna have to replicate it
the
this year,
rivalry is
hopefully.
great.
Yeah. We'll have to
Saban's the
get
straight
Saban.
man on that show. It's real.
That
Yeah.
was so funny.
Yeah,
You also
it's
have a
real.
deep knowledge of all like the teams and stuff.
Yeah,
I wouldn't. I'd be tough.
I
They
could
would sniff
talk.
me out pretty
Yeah.
quickly, I think.
Do you ever listen to a Saban or a Kirby locker room speech to get yourself fired up?
Those are sick. Those are pretty awesome.
I have found myself listening to Kirby talk to a bunch of college kids like they're going to war.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And I didn't realize the amount of F-bombs in a college
Mhm.
like Kirby speeches get me. That's a regular little treadmill listen.
Freeman got one at Notre Dame's coach got one. It was halftime of Notre Dame Penn State. I think it was 10-0, 10-3. And he was like, it's just a fight. Go out and fucking fight.
Yeah.
I was like, that's good. He's like, you know how to do this? Fight him.
Get your pads on, man.
Lou Holtz has my favorite one. It was right before it was Notre Dame, Miami.
Yeah.
They got in a fight in the tunnel.
Oh.
And all the players are like, because Coach Holtz was like a very serious, like, they're like, he's gonna yell at us for fighting. And he's like, I just got one thing to say. You leave Jimmy Johnson's ass from me. They were all yeah. R.I.P.
Is this
Yeah,
Catholics
awesome.
Convicts era?
Yeah.
Gosh, you seen that?
It was
30 for 30?
Yeah, it was that game. It was that game. Yeah.
That was as real as it gets.
That's
man.
fun.
Oh yeah, all on the line.
You know what I'll say about the Miami fans? They love the whole we're the bad guys thing.
Yeah.
You call them convicts once and they're all like, that's mean. Ooh, I thought you guys were Catholic. Ooh. Shut up.
Well, I think also the
November 7th, we're coming for you, Miami. You're coming to South Bend.
I think the sensitivity of that era was a little different though in terms of what was on TV. Also, the way they presented both teams.
True.
Always. Yeah.
Well, the way the teams present themselves also. Miami's scoring touchdowns and
probably
taking
a
their
good-
helmet off and spiking it on a
It's
guy's
probably
head.
a good character question to find out where you stood during the Catholics convicts side of football.
I know
where-
exactly where I stand, dude. I like my roster not getting arrested constantly. What are we talking about?
That's why my dad loved Jimmy.
But I see
Johnson.
why you like the Bulldogs.
Oh, them dogs, bro. They're the best.
They're pretty good.
Yeah, I
Other than
think-
that Sugar Bowl against the Irish, that was fun.
But also, as far as a team to root for,
It's a good team.
you're consistently you're winning home games.
Yeah,
between the hedges. Uga's still on the field. Poor
Uga
things.
fucking rules.
He's the best. Always.
Lemaire's gonna be Uga 15. When this Uga dies, I'm signing up Lemaire.
I like every time they bring Uga around another mascot or try to
He
do
didn't like
one
that.
thing.
Got upset.
You know Uga? The bulldog, man.
You like it? Bevo attacked Uga.
Bevo and Uga.
That was nice.
Every time someone's like, I think it's a good idea. Let's just get them
let's
together.
get a dog
like,
next
why
to
would
this.
you put a full-blown steer and this bulldog are going to do well together, you know? Oh, I love them dogs.
And the dog biting people sometimes. That's nice.
All that great picture,
Yeah.
I think, is Uga 5 in the Auburn game.
Yes.
That's the type of run through brick wall stuff. If our dog is getting into this,
Yeah, it's nice.
we're
Yeah,
fighting, you know?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I think my niece is going to UGA.
Nice.
Yeah, that's big.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I'm excited. Yeah, the dogs. Good team.
They'll be
My mom's
back.
a big Notre Dame fan.
She's a saint.
Yeah, she'll be
great.
happy to hear that.
Yeah.
She understands your struggle.
Because we don't get it. Because here's why.
What don't you get, dude?
So her era of growing up, Notre Dame.
Mm.
It's Notre Dame. That's all you have to say. Touchdown, Jesus. It's Notre Dame, right? However, we don't know anyone who went there anymore. We don't have any connection to
That
it.
doesn't stop.
And multiple
Yeah, you don't
children
need
have
that.
gone to
Yeah.
other major universities, and it's still, I'm going to the Notre Dame game with my sisters. Who do you know?
Like you got to get out there. Dude.
That's their thing.
Once you
yeah.
see it, you go, "Oh, I get it."
Oh, does it get you?
Yeah, you'll get it.
Yeah. It gets you. All
You'll
right.
get it.
Fair enough. It's one of the greater greatest institutions of all time. If not, top
If not.
five.
Top five's crazy.
Top five.
Now, since Bama went on that run with Saban, now Notre Dame's two.
And Bama being one,
Bama's now number one.
where would you put UGA?
Recently, they made a good run because before that, I think they had one title since like 1980.
Yeah, and then they
but
finally,
now they're up
Yeah.
there for sure.
What about Texas?
Not really.
You're living here, man.
I still like Texas.
They're great.
The Longhorns are fun, but
Welcome, baby.
they're not. You can't put them up there with. They're not even above Oklahoma.
All
All
that's-
time though, just
oh,
blue
man.
blood wise.
Wrestling, famous wrestling announcer Jim Ross is watching
Yeah.
this now. Like, he is.
Yeah.
He still
Say,
has his
"By
own-
God."
By God, Shane.
Shane knows ball.
Oh man,
No, Texas is right there.
I think I sent you a text about this. I don't know. I think I saw you talk about it one time, and I was telling myself, I was like, I have to ask him about it. Is Ken Burns' Civil War?
Shit rocks.
I live for Ken Burns' Civil War, and have you seen it?
I haven't seen it, no.
It's 47 hours long.
Yeah, I heard it's long as hell.
You'll
I
never finish it.
haven't been able to commit to it.
There's no video.
I've watched it
Yeah,
8
it's just
times.
pictures, just scanning.
I've watched it 8 times. I don't think I've gotten to Gettysburg. Dude. I watched the first 5 hours of this thing.
That's still really good.
It's great.
I
That's awesome.
I got the part of Guile in Street Fighter coming up.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And I'm thinking like, oh, I just want to get as American as American can get, right? And deep dive into military history, all stuff I already like.
Yeah,
clearly already very very much like.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just diving in, and for whatever reason, I got stuck on Ken Burns' Civil War, and I was just fine with that.
Yeah, it's incredible.
It's so good. It's so
incredible.
Good.
It's so funny to watch that preparing for Guile.
I got a knowledge of what it took.
Thinking about Pickett's charge.
Sonic boom.
This is what it took to get,
True.
Oh, it's such a
Did you
great
get to hang out with Schultz on that?
What's that?
Andrew Schultz on that? When you were filming
he's phenomenal.
Yeah, he's the man.
Oh, and genuinely phenomenal.
Yeah.
I think people will be, because they have Noah Centineo, Kalina, and Koji. The three leads, Chun-Li, Ryu, and Ken, are killing it. They knew their stuff. They were ready. They were pros. And I think they put 50 Cent and Schultz and me, and we got to come in, float in. Mm-hmm. And the way Schultz is in the movie really blew me away, because I got to see him both making people laugh hysterically and then also a couple sincere moments. He's a special one.
Yeah,
he's
really
good.
a special one. Yeah. He told me he'd help me against McAfee. I don't know if Schultz was.
What, with some jokes?
And then Schultz also has started, I think single-handedly, Schultz started a Mortal Kombat versus Street Fighter.
I saw that.
And everyone, I think, on stage thought like the same thing. Okay, we'll back him because that's our guy. But I don't know how far. I think it's only going to get worse. Like Schultz is ready for a fight, but also I don't know. I was saying he's like my tag partner. I'm in. We got
go.
Yeah,
we got his back. Great guy.
That's
wish
awesome.
he had jumped in the ring with his shades on, talking about the Attitude Era.
True.
While I was laying there, confused. But yeah, no, I know him.
Yeah,
I
true.
know
I
him. Yeah.
know this other guy.
McAfee's a freaking punk. I can't wait for this. I can't wait for this all to get settled.
Hey, is this your wrestler go-to? This right here?
I go, Hulk Hogan. We're coming from you.
Have you? Do you know when you do media and stuff for your shows? Do people ever ask you, "Hey, do something funny for it"?
All the time.
Okay, and what do you have a bit?
No, I say no. I don't do.
Dude, I tell everyone, because some people, when they don't know wrestling, and I totally understand how great the 80s were, and I get it. I loved it myself. But that is a common, hey, man, why don't you just cut a quick little promo for us?
Oh, man.
And that's what they want. They want
the...
And I usually, it's so soft and just almost, I'd say, you can see in their eyes, oh,
that's not what I want.
That's not what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say, "Let me tell you something, brother." And take bro, it's 7 a.m. I'm in a suit, and it's 2026. I can just tell you this other stuff. But then also in my mind, I leave I should have something. I should have a thing. Like when I met Bert Kreischer. Bert's more of a pro wrestler than half the pro wrestlers. He's ready for that. Yeah. So I now try to have one ready, but then I never do. And just always try and tell him, let's just avoid.
Before we get out of here, because I think you actually have to go.
Yeah.
Could you cut one for us, Lemaire?
Yeah, sure. Lemaire,
please cut a WrestleMania. Please cut a WrestleMania. He needs you to cut one.
I need it, Lemaire.
Get out
in front of the camera. Get in front of the camera and cut one.
Give Pat McAfee a message. Send Pat McAfee a message right now. Get him, yo, camera, bro.
I'll set you up, Lemaire. This guy came for us.
Yeah, bro.
He inserted himself into WrestleMania, Lemaire. That's your turf.
Lemaire, the belt was in your pool house.
Yeah.
Honor it.
The title.
Lemaire, grab the Notre Dame belt.
Get the belt, bro.
Get the Notre Dame belt for this.
Yeah. Don't even mess around.
Yes, feel it. Feel the strength of it.
Yeah, feel that.
Yeah.
Coach Lou's in there. Oh, yeah. Got that Fanatics title.
Right.
Get it. You got
camera, bro. Cam, tell McAfee what's up, dude.
What's the date? When's WrestleMania?
1819.
Yeah.
He knew.
I got you.
He's
tattooed in his brain.
Yeah. Come on, Lemaire.
Pat McAfee, you dare say that the wrestling industry is the wrestling fandom, the IWC stinks?
Yeah.
Dude, this is the stuff that you're made of. This is where you're from. Without the IWC, you wouldn't even be on TV. No. You wouldn't be shit.
Keep going. Don't laugh, dude.
Keep going, Lemaire. He wouldn't be shit.
This WrestleMania, April 18th, April 19th. You and Randy Orton think you're going to take on the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes? You think you're going to walk out unharmed?
Yeah.
You think you're going to walk out fully together, you think you're going to walk out the same guys?
No, he's threatening
That's right, Lemaire.
life-altering injuries.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. We come for blood, Lemaire. Come on, baby.
This guy right here, Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, the QB1 of the WWE.
Fuck yeah.
He rarely lets us down.
He rarely lets us down.
He won't let
We
us
gotta do
down.
better shit talk than that. He does pretty good for us. What the fuck, dude?
Lemaire, that was great.
Good job, Lemaire.
I gotta get out
You
of
did
here.
it, man. You did it.
This guy, give me one. He's got a pretty good winning percentage. All right.
Lemaire, I think unfortunately you set it up where it's like, oh man, he rarely lets us down. Basically, like, hey, dude,
There's no chance he's gonna let us down.
Lemaire, I was happy. So you're coming to Mania, right? Yeah, you know.
Yeah, he's gonna get into Mania.
You got to be there after all that. Watch out for Pat too.
Pat's gonna watch you.
You got to be there.
Can I
Oh, man.
before we go? I have to say one more thing. So on the way here, I was doing a little research. I came across an interview with you and your wife, Brandy, right?
Yeah.
And there was just a point of it made me laugh so hard where she introduced herself as the African American Nightmare.
Yeah.
And then you said it, you're like, the African American Nightmare. She's like, okay, don't say that anymore.
Bro,
That interview's so funny.
it's not
Matt's
mine.
married to an African American nightmare.
It's not mine. It's not mine to access.
Yeah.
And I learn it more every day. It's not so. I referenced my nickname on TV, Raheem, and that was funny until I said it, and then now I live with it. So yeah,
That interview's so funny.
Yeah,
I was
when,
like,
it's not mine
That's
to
a
say.
crazy thing. African American nightmare. No wonder you loved it. You must have been like, ooh, I'm keeping that.
Yeah, no.
See how that one goes for me.
No, it's not mine.
God, that was a really funny interview. Definitely
I
watch
learn,
that.
though. I learn every day.
Yeah,
You know?
it's good. You're growing.
Yeah.
You're learning. Lemaire, thank you for the promo. That was
Dude,
incredible.
great job, Lemaire.
Yeah, man.
You're coming to WrestleMania, man. You got it. And Pat, he'd be scared running into you, man. You got him shaking, right? You got it. You're holding the Notre Dame title, friends of
Yes.
courtesy of our friends at Fanatics. You know, you feeling that energy.
It's Pat's move now.
Yeah.
I do worry about Randy Orton. I think you could take Pat. Randy like a human horse, though, thick boy, you know. So you
I
got
don't
it.
know, Lemaire, you're strong as hell, right?
Yeah.
You're
I
okay.
don't know if I'm Randy Orton strong.
No, Pat. We're talking about you taking out Pat.
Oh yeah, I can take Pat.
Pat would beat the hell out of you.
No,
Nah, Lemaire's
no
gonna get
way.
low.
Yeah.
Pat would beat your
dude.
ass, dude.
No,
I don't
dude.
know.
I'm
support it.
turning heel. I'm going back. Pat McAfee, you're the man, dude. All right. Well, thank you very
Thank
much.
you
Dude. You're
so
the man.
much.
Seriously.
Thank you.
Thank you,
This is a
man.
blast,
stuff.
man. Thank you so much.
Watch new episodes of Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast on Spotify.
Do it.